So Joe, you're our guy in the game.
Yeah, I got you.
Joe reporting live from the first base, right next to Aaron Boone, passing this message. You suck.
Get out.
Get out. All right, here we go. What is going on, everybody? So as you guys are watching the game, we are also here together watching the game. Myself, Arby, Joe, and Francis will be joining us. But guys, of course, there's a lot to talk about. You know, we haven't had a roundtable in a little while. Yankee fans are having mixed feelings about this year so far. And the Yankees are playing the Red Sox today. Jameson Taillon on the mound early. So, Joe, you are front and center at the game. I believe, you know, you're in between innings. You're fixing the mound.
Yeah.
You're right there on the field. You're coming live right now from the ball game. So give us a quick roundup of what this game is looking like so far.
Well, in the beginning it was slow, and then what did we get to, the fourth or fifth inning? And Gleyber Torres got up there and hit a 2-run against Erod. You know he's always going to do something against him. And then I think we got to the bottom. No, we got to the top of the sixth, and it just blew up for Taillon. They took him out with 1 out in the inning. They put in Loizaga. He did give up a hit, which gave him the lead. Then he got out of it, and then Gleyber Torres got us back to tie game with a sac fly to right. And now we're in the seventh. They kept Loizaga again,
So that's where we are
there
right now. Because honestly, I'll be honest, this computer issue took up a lot of my time to even watch much of the game. How did our guy Taillon look so far?
he looked really good up until that sixth inning. He gave 5 shutout innings, and then we had a 2-0 lead in the sixth, and it just blew up. He couldn't really shut anybody down. He would get the 0-2 count, and then he couldn't get him out. That seems to be his problem late into games.
100%. And I tell you what, you guys know early on how high I've been on Jameson Taillon, and I actually still am. I mean, I watch his stuff and I'm like, this guy got everything. It's just there's like just one more hurdle he has to take, and whether that is if you could put it towards command or what else. I do think his command needs to sharpen up still a little bit. I think it'll get there, but he's actually a guy that I think has a chance to really turn it around, especially in the second half of the season. Arby, what do you think about that when you watch him?
No, yeah, I agree with you. Like we seen it before earlier in the season. He has nasty stuff, especially that curveball. You know, hit at 95, 96 miles an hour. But people need to understand, like, he literally changed his pitcher form during the offseason. So it's gonna take some time.
Yeah, he changed his angle. The arm angle dropped a little more. Yep.
Wide, he shortened it. So people got, I understand people, he's struggling, but let's give it a time. I'm pretty sure after the All-Star break, he probably will get it back together and start coming around.
Yeah, I agree with you, Arby. Yeah, they were talking about that during the game. When he was with the Pirates, he was going full arm stretch, and now he actually comes a half a foot closer to the plate.
Well,
so, I mean, that is a big difference.
And if you actually watch when he pitched to the Pirates, because I've followed Taillon for a long time, if you see the way he threw with the Pirates, just pull up a clip. You'll see why he got Tommy John surgery twice. It's all arm. So everything was torque on his arm. He didn't use his legs at all. It was pure arms. Exactly. Now you can see why. And on top of that, a little more relation for the Yankees is Clark Schmidt has done the same thing. So he's taken a lot of pressure off of the elbow and is using a lot more legs. That's something that they talked about a lot during spring training.
Yeah, we're just going to be patient with him. I feel like he'll come around,
100%. And when you're working, and look, I mean, I could sit here and tell you guys, I was expecting this. I wasn't. I was expecting even better than this early, and that could be a bit premature. Just because what the guy has been through. But when you look at talent of pitchers on the staff, he's arguably one of the most talented guys. And David Cohn talked about the spin rate in this curveballs. I believe actually is the elite level. His spin rate is on the elite level. We're going to get into that conversation about the war on analytics, which has begun. My man, Kevin Kernan, if you guys don't follow Kevin Kernan, wrote for the New York Post for years, is with Ball 9 now. He put out an article with all the old school ball players, scouts, analysts, just people of the game talking about analytics and how bad it upsets them that baseball is really going away from more of the eye test. And they actually attributed a lot to attributed a lot, excuse me, for baseball becoming more boring to fans. So it'll be interesting to talk about. We'll definitely do that throughout this show, especially when Francis joins us. But right now where we are, is Lowe still on the mound?
Yeah, he's still on the mound. He just
right,
gave
so-
up an infield single. Glaber almost made a really good play, but he kept it.
Oh God, no outs.
Yeah, one out.
One
One
out.
out. Okay.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
maybe we can
One
get
out.
2.
So hopefully, the Yankees could possibly pull this one out. But what we'll do, since we don't have Francis here yet, but we'll get his word on it. Let's go ahead and look at this current construction of the lineup of the Yankees. And we can also even go as far as talking about the overall construction of the roster and why the Yankees are having trouble. I seen somebody in the comments say that Andujar blew an inning by a fly ball to left field. And I think I saw that highlight where either he may have stopped a little short on the wall. Now, let's be fair here. I don't think it was a routine fly ball.
No, it definitely wasn't.
Joe, I think me and you talked about that before we got on here. You said that you didn't think he was going to catch it when the ball was
Nah,
hit.
I already put into my head he's not catching that. I don't even think Frazier maybe would have caught that.
Gardner would have had it.
I think Gardner would have definitely had it.
Gardner would have had it.
And Gardner
So-
is obviously an elite.
Yeah,
defensive
Gardner's one of the
outfield.
best defensive outfields in the league. So basically what we're saying here, and Arby, did you see that? Did you happen to see that play?
I didn't see that play, but based on everybody's reaction to it, they were pissed. Like they were saying that he should have caught that. So I don't know.
You
I
can't
don't know.
really, I don't
The
know.
fir-
You can't really be mad at him at that.
Yeah, the first thing I asked Joe when we got on, I said, Joe, what the hell did Andujar do? I'm not watching the game. What happened? He goes, no, I didn't think he was going to catch the ball anyway when it was hit. So I did see some of the comments in there. That's why I wanted to talk about it. Gio, who's a regular of the Simonetti Source NYY News chats, said that Gittins has also looked very good at first base today.
Oh yeah, he just made I think the first out of the inning, he made a pretty good play.
Nice.
I'm telling you,
Nice.
if Giddens can, create some sparks in his lineup and prove people like, hey, I belong here. Like what we mentioned earlier in the group chat in our live, like Luke Voigt might be the odd man out. Like if
It's
Giddens,
looking like that.
not saying that Giddens going to be Luke Voigt, potential or a star, but if he can, do some great, play some good defense and produce offense,
Right.
he's cheaper than Voigt. Who knows? If there's
Right.
a deal at the trade deadline that is hard to refuse, and Voigt has to be in the deal. What do you do there? Like, do you pull that trigger and trade Voigt and keep Giddens and trusting in him playing first?
Yeah, we'll have I think Francis, you with us?
Yes, sir.
There he is, the one, the
Francis.
only Francis.
What's up, boys?
There he is. So Francis, I don't know how much of the game you've seen so far. So I want to get your opinion if you have seen it. Did you see the play in left field with Andujar?
You mean the 95% catchable play?
What should it have been caught? Because Joe is saying no way.
Everybody on Twitter said that she should have caught that.
I did see everybody in the chat here is like, yeah, that ball needed to be caught.
So, yeah, I'll keep it real simple there. Brian Hoke actually tweeted right after, as if we needed more pain, that the catch probability. Look at this. I'm sorry.
That's what 95%. It said 95%.
Come on, Johnny Lowe. My
What
God.
happened? What are we doing here?
Oh,
Pitch roll for
lasagna.
Verdugo.
Nah, bro. Brian Hope tweeted that it was a 95% catch probability. So I'm just like,
Oh, wow.
that's a really high catch probability. It seems like he should have made that play. Yeah.
See, that's the reason why people don't mind Andujar being benched because of that.
I'm
Yeah.
looking at it right now. I mean, the
Good
camera
offense.
angle is terrible, but I mean, yeah, I could see where he should have made that catch. I had no faith in him anyway.
It's like we talked about before, man. I mean, the way this lineup is constructed, you're not going to have an easy answer. You're just not. You're just not no more. I mean, you can. I mean, and whether you want to put this, whoever you want, I say all leadership is to blame. So people kind of get mad at me and go, well, this is Cashman's team, not Boone's. Boone sucks. Okay. Boone sucks. Cashman sucks right now. And, somebody made a good point to me today, and I want to get your guys' opinion on this. The closest the Yankees came to a World Series is 2017, right? What the hell did they do in the offseason? They added Starlin Castro.
Didn't we have Ty Frazier?
Did I don't know what else they added, but I tried to look it up quickly today and I didn't get a real chance. They re-signed Sabathia.
Well, Frazier was already on the 17 team, wasn't he?
No, I think we traded for him, didn't we?
No, Frazier was gone
Frazier,
after
I
that. He
think.
was on that team, I believe.
Yeah, he was on
Yeah.
that. We traded
I'm
for
talking
him.
about the season ending, them going into the off season.
Oh,
To build upon a team that was one
Like,
game
is
away from winning the World
Stanton?
Series.
Was
Was Stanton that year?
Yeah, Stanton was after the
So
yeah, Stanton was after the 2017.
yeah, because 18-19. Yeah. So that no.
that's
Was it?
Yeah, because that's when he won MVP, and him and Judge led the leagues in home runs.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah, you're right.
So he made a couple of moves, but again, like the person basically pointed out to me and said, at the end of the day, the philosophy of the lineup, the construction has always been the same. It's never changed. It's been the same thing year after year, and that just hasn't worked. So now you're in a weird predicament because now you're seeing a little better pitching on the Yankees, which I still wouldn't say it's anywhere near elite. It might be better, but it's nowhere near elite. And the offense is still where it is. So, RB, you brought up a good point too by saying that, Voit is possibly the odd man out. So we'll get into that. And you guys, I know, Francis, you're watching the game. I'm probably the only one not really watching the game right now. So you guys let me know what happens, or let us all know what happens. Where are we at with the Yankees coming up to a deadline now and having to make some changes? What's the logical move?
Ooh.
Offense. Like, people be messaging me like saying, "Arby, we need at least 2 bats." I'm like,
For sure.
like Pete, you said it. Give us all the offense as much
Let's
as possible.
go, Gio.
What are we looking at?
Line out to third, and then he turns to second, double play.
May I say something real quick about
Gio.
Don Giovanni?
My God, he's so good.
The Don.
Don Giovanni.
That was big.
Everybody loves the Don. So let's continue that conversation as the inning, as the guys switch over here. RB, I know you were talking about what's the logical move?
Like I was saying, like, we just got to add as much offense as possible. Because right now we suck. Like, we're in the bottom of the category of every possible offense. Like, we're with the Tigers, with the Royals. Like, it's either home run or bust for us.
Right.
And people say, "Oh, we too right-handed." I'm like, does it really matter? Because most of our right-handers hit opposite. I mean, can hit it all over the park. But then again, it would be nice to have some left-handed batters. Like, I've seen people mention Adam Frazier. Like, Pete, you said it years ago.
Woo!
And now all of a sudden, Morosi yesterday tweeted he could be a good target for us.
The Yankees been after him for 2 years. Since 2018, the Yankees have been after him. That's something I've been told often.
Exactly. And then I think this offseason we said, like, the Yankees should go after Josh Bell and Adam Frazier as well.
Ooh,
But
I like that.
Yeah, Adam Frazier could be a great target. He can play multiple positions, outfield, second base. Another good one.
Not the best. Not so. Just some insight on Frazier a little bit when it comes to the outfield. Not the best outfielder.
Oh no.
So he's definitely not a guy. Mind you, he's a very, very good second baseman. Very good second baseman defensively.
No,
could play the corner out. No, but I understand that just so other people know that, if you feel like you could just plug him in the outfield, you probably can. You could do it. But he's not the best outfielder, FYI. So if he makes some errors out there, it shouldn't shock anybody. But I can see them doing that.
Yeah, but my overall target for outfield is Ketel Marte. Like,
Yes, sir.
we all said that so many times, especially me. I did a video on him. Like,
my man upset me, man. He was supposed to be a Yankee today, I thought.
He
What's my man doing? It's like one of those things. It's like I'm reading. I'm like, oh man, I gotta translate this. Oh, look at this. Oh, come on, man.
Pete, you should have reached out to me or Francis. We would have let you know quickly.
I told my fiance. She told me to go to hell. She didn't want to look at it.
He probably saw who tweeted it and was like, "Don't even waste your time."
Yeah, because he said, what did he say? Castillo was supposed to be a Yankee already.
Oh yeah, Castillo was on his way to New York. He was on the plane.
He's
already on the plane. He packed up everything. He had all the plátanos. He had his shaver. He packed his electric shaver already. Even though the beard or whatever was shaved, he was on his way.
And then he got a call saying, "Delay. There's been a misunderstanding. Come back, Cincinnati. Come back."
Yeah, it's never happened. Don't follow some of those tweets out there.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, yeah, Ketel Marte will be my number one target. And then this is the thing: people messaging me saying, "Oh, you're willing to give up a haul for an outfielder." Listen, Ketel Marte is the perfect fit. Literally checks off all the boxes that we need.
Well, on top of that too, though, you're being logical because at the end of the day, he's getting paid peanuts. I think the
$6 million.
largest, and I think the last player option he has is only like 10 million, and that's what 3 or 4 years from now.
Mhm.
Yeah,
it's stupid.
He's under contract until 2022, and then has 2 club options for 2023 and 2024 of 10 million, and then the last one 12 million, I believe.
Right.
That's for a player like that, you do it in a heartbeat.
100%. Francis, what do you think?
I'm 1,000% on the Ketel Marte train. I don't see when I see on Twitter like people like trying to like speak against it. I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like, do you even watch the same team that like we're watching? Like, oh, he's an outfield. Yeah, he's an outfielder on a team that has one outfielder that's like
right.
our guy, and even that guy is injury prone. So like, why we act like, oh, like the Yankees have like, this was like the conversation last year. Oh, they're like so deep in the outfield or whatever.
Yep.
Stanton's never taken another rep in the outfield. Judge, if we get 120 games out of Judge in the outfield, that's an amazing get. Aaron Hicks, do we even like? He's not playing right now, so we don't even have to go there, right?
Aaron who?
I don't know how he's a Yankee moving forward. I don't know how.
Yeah, and then Gardner is like we joke about it, but how long is this guy going to be here? And we traded Talkman. We traded Talkman, which I don't want to open that wound again, but like, come on. So where is it that the Yankees are so set? Oh, you want to talk about Flo? Yeah, Flo. Well,
he's not ready. He's not ready, Francis. Don't talk about Florial because everybody else in the outfield's batting 275. Don't let Florial up here because he can't bat 170.
Yeah. They're like, oh no, he's in the oven. He's in the oven. He's cooking, but he's still not there. Been in the oven long enough, you ask me. Nice swing.
1,600 at bats, but yeah, no problem.
But
no.
And what did he do when he came up? Florial. He almost hit an opposite 2-run homer, I believe.
Yeah,
but he's not ready.
Right off the wall.
He's not ready. He's not ready.
Not to mention, there's an argument that like, oh well, you know, he there's an adjustment to major league pitching and things like that. Well, the other day, Florida, you know, I think it was Gittins or someone. They had a great game against, I think it was Matt Moore, who was rehabbing from the Phillies or whatever.
Yeah, Matt Moore. Yeah,
that's a major league pitcher. What's he doing in AAA pitching? I'll tell you what he's doing there. What a lot of major league pitching is doing in AAA, rehabbing, like figuring things out. There's a lot of major league pitchers in the minor leagues. So to say that they don't see major league arms is just not true. Like we have major league arms down there. Like they see major league pitching. If Flo is not ready right now, my whole thing is, how can those same people say he's not ready right now, but then also we can't just trade him? Then it's like, it doesn't make sense. You got to pick one or the other. Either he's going to help this team by being called up and get some game reps, or we put him in a deal and go after a guy like Ketel Marte and just, you know, we let bygones be bygones and we say, hey, listen, he wasn't ready. He didn't fit our timeline. So we traded him for someone who was.
Yep.
But this whole anyway, I definitely make the move for Ketel Marte. I don't know how anyone speaks against that. It's just nonsense at this point. And I agree with Arby. I mean, if you can get another bat, I think you go and do it. And it's just for the simple fact that this lineup has grossly underproduced this season.
Oh,
it's
horrible.
not even
horrible.
That's an understatement. And listening to Boone night after night after night, the same things, different ways to say the same excuse every single night. I got to give him credit. I never heard someone say the same thing 100 different ways.
That's the only thing he's ready for.
He finds a different way. There we go. Fumble that.
What happened?
Yeah, he ran it out. Let's go.
Yeah, did you see what he said last night?
I can't. I don't even want to hear. I don't even
about the double play.
He said last night about the double plays. He's like, yeah, well, a lot of the.
Oh, that's horrible.
Hit the double. Boone, I don't know if you've realized. Pick your head up out of the sand. Look at the standings. This is not a good team. Don't.
Well, my whole thing is, and this is what gets me so mad. It's something I'm actually going to start talking about a lot more. Is where are the journalists at? Where's
They
the
took-
media head? The follow-up question is so easy. Mr. Boone, I just have a quick follow-up to that. Where are you seeing that your offense is one of the top producing offensive league at the bottom of the barrel? Can you go ahead and rephrase what you just said?
Thank you. But
They're not
no
gonna
one
do it.
wants to
They're not
challenge
gonna
it.
say that.
They won't. You
They're
have
too
Lindsay
scared.
Adler saying that's not my job, and I'm
That's
just like,
terrible.
oh,
I've
with
never
all
heard
due
somebody
God.
say that.
With all
That's
due respect,
horrible.
Lindsay, what is your job then? Why are you there to ask questions? Are we there to stroke Aaron Boone's whatever? Like, dude, I don't care. Half the stuff that they ask is like they'll ask about like, hey, do you think what happened with Garrett Cole today? You just feel like he wasn't as sharp or whatever. You know that Boone's gonna respond by saying, I loved his stuff.
Marley Rivera asked Aaron Judge the other day, what did he think of Miguel Andujar single? Can you imagine this?
My
I would have been sitting there like, yeah, we won the game today.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? I mean, this is ridiculous.
Come on, Frazier.
Didn't the clouds look nice in center field?
Frazier grounded into a double play.
No, just now.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
in
go,
the
here
video.
we
Well,
go.
they're an elite offense. What do you expect?
that's what
There it
happens.
is. There's a double play.
That's what
They're an
happens.
elite offense.
Damn, I'm like
Another
so
thing-
behind. I still haven't seen
and
it. I'm probably
That's
loving
another thing. This offense is too predictable. Too predictable. You haven't met a second and third with no outs. We already know what's gonna happen. We're not gonna. If we can score one run, we're lucky.
Yep. Joe, what do you think about
Well,
this deadline coming
I've
up?
been trying to get realistic. I mean, I'm on the Ketel Marte train all day, but I mean, look at our general manager. Is he gonna make that trade? So I'm looking at the more realistic trade. I feel like the two moves you should make is definitely you got to give Flo that shot in center field. You have to, and then a Cashman move would be somebody like Gallo or the other Marte Starling in Miami.
Yeah.
100% those are possibilities. I throw another name out there, depending on where Luke Voigt is, if Luke Voigt's coming back, or how do Yankees see that. I mean, this would definitely be a move. I think that would you only probably do if Voigt is out. But what about the possibility of Trey Mancini?
I can see it.
I know
can
he's
see
a
it.
right-handed hitter. I understand that. And I also am going against my belief of getting some lefties in this lineup because I was against it. I said, these guys are great hitters. They don't need a lefty. That's ridiculous. They hit the ball out anywhere. They don't need it. I kind of want to see a little more balance in this lineup. So you guys probably know my top two targets are going to align a lot with Arby's, and that's going to be Adam Frazier and Ketel Marte. Depending on, a lot of people believe the Yankees don't have enough to get him. That is beyond ridiculous. The Yankees do have enough to make a deal for just about anybody because I hear that a lot that, well, Pete, what are they going to trade to get him? Well, you do understand that they, Davy Garcia, he's a blue chip still, folks. He's not some drag prospect that you just throw out there. This guy's still a blue chip prospect. Yeah. So yes, he can lead many, many deals to get a lot of players out there. And I think Marte is one of those guys. The other guy, again, I think the Yankees can make a lot of really smart deals. I think Frazier could be possibly packaged depending on, what the Pirates are doing, but adding pitching is always nice too. They got Rodriguez, who is one of the best closers in the league. They got Kyle Crick, who's an extremely underrated relief pitcher. They also have Jacob Stallings, who I will love to see on this team as a catcher moving forward. Because I no matter, how decent Gary has started to do, I don't think Gary's not the catcher of this team going forward. And at the end of the day, are the Yankees going to, this is another question. Do the Yankees decide they get something for Gary or just let him go?
I think he still has some trade value. Not too like from back like 2016, Gary, but like I'm pretty sure we could get something out of him. There's no way somebody could be, huh? Go ahead, Francis.
Definitely get you something.
Yeah,
like not something big.
No,
I was saying earlier in the season, I was like, if we're gonna move him, like get an arm, like not a starter, I'm not saying we're gonna get a top end starter or even a 3-starter, 4-star, but I'm saying we could probably get a decent relief arm for Gary Sanchez.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's no way. Yeah.
Wandy for Talkman, and we weren't even giving Talkman that many reps, and he was coming off an injury and stuff, and they gave up Wandy Peralta, who was, had some decent peripheral numbers for Talkman. So you can't tell me we wouldn't get a decent receiver for Gary Sanchez.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's something that I threw out there because the Yankees got a decision on him. Is he coming back? Is he not? I mean, I don't think so. I don't think it makes sense for this club. Now, again, a lot of people bring up some of the good points out there too, is that there's not many great catchers out there. But I think the Yankees got to understand that the way right now you're being led by who? You're being led by Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole wants no part of the catcher you may want in there. It's time to move on. 100%. To me, in my opinion, it's time to move on from that. So you look for a guy who is more defensive minded. Jacob Stallings is one of the better defensive catchers in the league. He's, I think 31 now, so he's older, but for a couple of years until maybe somebody else is ready, I like that idea if that's a possible package deal with a Frazier or somebody else that the Yankees could do to help to improve a little bit.
How about this name? We mentioned it over the preseason, Wilson Contreras from the Cubs.
Yeah.
You do a package deal, Kyle Hendricks with Contreras, or
that's a really, really big deal. That would be a huge type of deal for both of those guys. That would be gigantic. But the thing is, the thing is too with somebody like that, he said recently he wants no part of a rebuild. He doesn't have much to say because he's not going to be a free agent anytime soon. So there's not much else he can do. He could say he's unhappy and bring that to the media and see what that gets him. But we'll see. LI Yankee King, by the way, no, you're not joining. You're not joining right now. Please. I appreciate it. We all thank you, but not right now. We'll get to your questions. So we'll answer questions here shortly, but we've got a lot to still talk about. But for me overall, that's where I am. And Marte, you give up whatever they want for him, basically, besides Dominguez. Dominguez right now, I don't think you could go ahead and just throw him out there for anybody, because everything I hear about this kid, if he takes off in single A, this kid could be a year and a half to 2 years even away from joining the big club. So they are interested in fast tracking him. So, we'll see where it goes. But one thing I want to bring up, we've talked about this a lot, and it's probably going to be something we'll repeat a little more too, is about Luke Voigt probably becoming the odd man out at some point, just because it makes sense. They signed DJ LeMay to 6 years. He's not going to be a second baseman for 6 years. He's probably not going to be a second baseman for 2 more years, if they had to push it. LeMay's future position is likely first base. I think if you keep him at first base for a long time, he becomes a very good defensive first baseman. Adam Frazier then even becomes a little more valuable because now you got a second baseman. But you then have to make your mind up on what is Gleyber Torres and who is he? And what do we think he is? So this offseason, I was thinking about this the other day. Hal Steinbrenner has a lot to think about if he cares about this team. Is Brian Cashman the guy to enter a new season, true reconstruction of an organization? Is he the right guy for that job?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say, for years, I've defended Cashman. I've got a lot of things I don't like about him, a lot of moves that he made or didn't make, like that I didn't like about him, but I would defend him because I would say year in and year out, he's fielding a good enough product that like my team, I feel confident in my team and like whatever. This year though, I feel like there was a lot that could have been done this offseason. There was a lot of creativity that could have been had, and we just did not do it. Like they got quote unquote creative with the rotation, and shouts out for the move with Kluber and Tyone, because regardless of how this season is going with those two guys right now, I still like very much both of those moves. But I don't like that those were the only moves in terms of like, this is what we're doing with our rotation. Paxton's gone, Tanaka's walking, Happ is gone, Kluber and Tyone, and we'll get Sevy back, and we're going to win a ring. I'm not content with that, right? And throughout the year, right, Herman has been good, which has kind of saved Cashman's rear end in a sense, because if Herman was really stinking it up on top of everything else, the fire would be on, like, it would be uncontrollable. But moving on the rotation, I feel like he took a look at the bullpen and said, oh, we're good, we're elite. Like there's no need to really like even touch that. And I feel like that was never really our way, because if you remember, like even in our down years, we had Chapman, Andrew Miller, like Dellin Betances. Like even in our down years, our bullpen was always like a staple, really good. And like, yeah, we have Britton, we have Chad Green, we have Chapman, but he saw last year that in those playoff games where we had to dig in a little bit earlier into the bullpen, we didn't have necessarily what to go to. And I don't think we were even creative with that. I don't think Wandy Peralta is the answer to that. Justin Wilson clearly is just not, you know what I mean? So there's that. Yep. And then obviously the biggest glaring issue with Cashman is his philosophy on the lineup. And that is literally, that was the last straw for me this year. And I'm officially on the train of Cashman is not the GM that is going to bring the New York Yankees number 28. And I hate to say it. I really hate to say it, because it means admitting that I was wrong in 2016 and 2017 and 2018, even in 2019, when I was defending the guy and saying, nah, he's going to figure it out. 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 I was wrong. He's too proud to admit that this brainchild of an offense that he crafted is just not correct. It's not going to work in the way that baseball is played today. Damn all the stuff about the baseball. I'm tired of hearing the stuff about the baseball. Oh, it's a dead ball. And
that's stupid, man.
Yeah. So what? It's a dead ball. Stupid. I get it. Other teams are struggling too, but guess what? Somehow every night the other team figures out how to score more runs than us. So don't tell me.
Bingo.
Like, oh, no, we not score. Yeah, but everybody else can do it. The freaking Detroit Tigers. We got swept by the Detroit Tigers. Like, I'm sorry, man. Like, how much more embarrassment do you expect us as Yankee fans to just take and show up to the stadium and buy a $30 bucket of chicken, bro? Like, it doesn't make sense. We watched the Red Sox celebrate the division on our field in 2018, and then we watched them celebrate eliminating us from the playoffs in 2018. We watched the Astros cheat us out of a chance in 2017. Okay, we lost embarrassing games to the Mets. We've gotten like, how much more? The Rays have literally beat us and danced on our grave in the Bronx.
They're not scared no more of us.
How much more embarrassment are we supposed to take as fans and still keep saying, nah, in Cashman we trust, Cash God or whatever? Why? Because some of you people on Yankee Twitter can go to a suite and take a picture with him. I don't give a damn about taking a picture with Brian Cashman.
Yeah, and ask him I would love to be close to Brian. I would love to be able to ask Brian Cashman a question in person. Yeah, because it'll be the same moment with Sweeney Murdy. He'll call security just to escort me out, because it wouldn't be me being nasty to him. I wouldn't be disrespectful. I would just want to know. I mean, how do you go all these years knowing you're the Yankees and you missed out on this list of pitchers, or you missed out on these opportunities, or you missed out on this and that? I mean, there's very simple questions you could ask him, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, dude, have you seen Wandy Peralta, my man? Have you seen the Yankees outfield? Yeah. Have you seen the outfield that your lineup is putting out day after day? Like, I understand Tauchman was still an option. So people get confused when I talk. They're like, oh, but Tauchman sucks. That's not the point. Right. The point is you gave up an option that we could use for a relief pitcher that's halfway decent.
These are the same people saying Tauchman sucks, but we're starting Gardner every freaking day. Like,
right. Or an outfielder that's hitting 175. Yeah, Frazier's hitting a little better now. Or again, Miguel Andujar today.
Yeah, who's not an outfielder. Like Andujar,
not an outfielder.
Listen, God bless him. He's not an outfielder. We
had Tyler Wade. We had Tyler Wade playing center field. How about that? Tyler Wade.
It's like, and then we're supposed to get, like, the media, they do this ridiculous job, right? Of like just like kissing the butt of whatever move the Yankees make and trying to make it look like it's gold when it's crap. Right. The other day with Judge and Center, like, we're all in our group chat saying, okay, this is interesting. Right. We're not like, oh yeah, he's gonna, no. This is interesting. Let's see. They had a whole spiel before the game. Yeah, this is Aaron Judge's second start in center field because this and trying to make it look like this is a good thing. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Judge playing center field in June is a terrible thing. Okay. I can guarantee you that is in no way the way that they drew up how our outfield alignment was going to be in the beginning of June. So don't pee on me and tell me that it's raining. It's good. We're going to get a look at Judgy in center. I mean, he's one of the greatest athletes. Don't give me that. Don't give me that. You are trying to find a way to patch all the holes that keep appearing because this lineup is constructed so poorly. Oh my God, is Adam Ottavino going to come into this game? I'm sorry. I just can't. I can't.
Hey, Joe, are you out there still?
Yeah, I'm watching the game and listening to Francis.
What do you think about Cashman moving forward? Is he the guy that you would want to do this?
So listening to Francis, I mean, I'm younger than you guys, so you guys got to see the prime of like George Steinbrenner. Not the prime. I mean, 19 and Brian Cash.
The dynasty, the real.
You guys got to see the dynasty. I didn't. I've always liked Cashman. I always understood the moves he's made, but you look at it now and it's like, what did it didn't do anything. Nothing. So going back to like 2017, all he really did was get Stan when we needed pitching. So I mean, Cole was out there. We lost him to the Astros. So I mean, and then now he's just like, Talkman was an option, like you guys said, and then they give him out for a Perlarta who really hasn't done much for us. I mean, I don't know. It's confusing because I defended him, and I have to admit I'm wrong too. Because if we're gonna really go about this off season in a different way, Cashman's not the guy anymore.
100%. So, Mr. Thompson, we're gonna get to your super chat any second. Let me. So yeah, I mean, I think you guys know where I am now. I think Brian Cashman has. I also believe in there's a thing of overstaying your time in baseball. I really believe that. I think you kind of become stale over time, and it's like it's hard for anybody to convince you that maybe what you're doing is wrong. And I think that's an effect on the Yankees, and I think that's an effect on Brian Cashman. But I mean, if you really look at it, it is this philosophy, and I've seen a lot of people, talk about that this philosophy is just wrong, and that needs to change. So, I don't care as much for the analytic stuff. I'm not the guy who can tell you a stat off the top of his head about a launch angle or anything like that. I kind of watch baseball, and I still have that old school mentality that, somebody was making fun. They took the lead?
Yeah.
What happened?
Damn it.
Yeah, I got my little stupid ass game day thing on saying in play runs.
I'm so delayed. It's still 2-2 with 2 outs, so I'm about to see it now.
Oh, Kiki, a double.
Of course.
Good old Kiki Hernandez.
I wanted Kiki, man, and
sneaky good move. It's a sneaky good move.
But no, Cashman, nah.
Little Kiki. Kiki, do you love me? Isn't that how it says? Isn't it goes Kiki?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Talking about Kiki and the good move, I think I said it in the group chat. I mean, I hate to say it, but the Red Sox are doing everything the right way. Everything. They won in 2018.
Can I?
We thought that they was gonna stink.
Exactly. We thought they were gonna stink.
I don't mean to. I don't even mean to be an ass here. I'm not saying it's hard to be a GM, but when you're a general manager of the Yankees, it should be a little bit easier.
Money.
You got the money. You got just about everything. I'm like, you're kind of like the greatest job in the history of the planet. Like, you really have a lot of what it could take to really construct a team. And I think it's going to be difficult. I really do. I think it's going to be difficult because you got some tough moves to make, but you're going to have some balls over there, really, because those headlines aren't going to be, they may not be the cutest, but you got to understand that you're going to have some tough decisions to make. I've been talking about the decisions on this roster for years now, that they're going to have some big decisions to make. And they got a lot of them coming up, but they're going to have to do it if they really want to change this team around.
Can you guys answer me this question? Because this morning on Twitter, this was going around and the people was asking me, and I didn't know what was going on. They were saying that the Yankees front office was having a meeting whether or not to go over the luxury tax at the deadline.
Does it matter?
Can you guys confirm that?
Do you want to win?
That's the
question.
I was gonna say that's
I don't know.
It's probably accurate. It's probably accurate because that's a conversation that needs to be had. But let me respond to that question with another question. Why did they take so long to have that conversation?
I can actually respond to that with another question also.
Like,
let's go.
Is that just the new age Yankee gaslighting?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We hear that? What was the one year? We tried, but they just wanted more from us. Oh, we did this, but they just wanted more from us. We tried.
Because
I mean,
we're
we
the
tried.
Yankees. Because the Yankee, they call it, what is it? They call it like the Yankee tax or whatever. When we're talking trade, teams want to charge us more or whatever. Let me tell you something. In 2021, for instance, if we're talking to the Diamondbacks about Ketel Marte, I don't think that they're going to want to charge us more because we're the Yankees. You know why?
Can I also just call that out as bullshit?
Yeah.
And let me tell you why. What have the Yankees done
That's what I'm
to
saying.
warrant somebody to be like, we want more from you, world champions?
That's what I'm saying. It's
What
not
have they done?
the
Another
Dodgers-
run. Come
the
on.
Dodgers get taxed probably. All right, Joe saying come on is no good.
I
What
know,
are
I
we
got
doing?
scared here,
Another
Gio. What
double
happened,
down the
Joe?
right field line.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, this game's
There we
done.
go. See, we can never go more than 3-1.
I'm about to get off here and put the live chat of the King Sauce on.
Oh Lord.
man.
I love Adam.
Is bad. And I'm just so delayed. So it's like it's terrible because I hear Joe's reaction and then
Me too.
Then I watch it.
I'm-
Then I
He
watch
hit
it.
it off
telling
the
you,
end of the bat too. My
I
God.
believe Joe is actually at the stadium right now. He's one of the guys that was like cleaning the infield in
He's right
between
next to
innings.
He's right
He
next to
knows
Aaron Boone.
everything. He's so
He's next to-
fast.
He's next to Boone right now.
Oh, if I was next to Boone, he would be on the other side of the stadium by now.
you would have been out of the stadium.
I would have been out. I would have been gone.
Chad Green, my God, guys.
This is what's so glaring about this offense, right? Is that you're looking at Boston, who was not supposed to be able to hold a candle to this Yankee team this year,
Right.
and it's situational hitting.
Yup.
That's all it is.
Devers comes up to start the inning. It's a tie game. Let me tell you how, and I know Glaber hit a home run today. I know he did. Good for him. But let me tell you what Glaber's approach is to start an inning in a tie game. He's swinging for the fences. He's not trying to get on base. Devers, what's he do? He pokes one out right over second base, gets on base. Okay? Kike Hernandez, there's a runner on second. There's 2 outs. All right? He's trying to get the run in. Good piece of hitting. He's battling. He waits for a pitch, gets a double, brings the run in. Right? Now they're up 1. They're up 1. The next guy can get complacent and say, "Oh, I'm gonna swing away. I'm gonna, whatever. Like I'm not gonna like whatever. I'm just gonna chill. It's Christian Vasquez or whatever. Like I'm a power guy. I'm a power or whatever guy. Like what? No, he goes and pokes one down the line at first, ends up on second, scores another run. Situational hitting and approach. The Yankees have 0 of that. It is
key.
Actually no. I get exaggerated when I get upset. When I am very upset.
Who the fuck is this Dahlbeck guy hitting a 2-run home run? Oh my God.
Oh God.
Are you kidding me? I knew
Joe,
I knew that.
Joe's like the blank voice from hell right now. He just comes through with bad news. Joe, you're killing me.
And I knew that was going to happen.
Not
I
been
wasn't going to
3,
say
man.
anything, but I knew that was going to happen.
Well, then I tell you guys, the moment they tied the game, I'm like, it's over for us. It's over. That's it. Francis.
453 feet, 116 off the bat.
I welcome Red Sox fans, Astro fans, come in here and throw balls at us or something. I mean, you could enjoy it because it must be nice to see the Yankees kill themselves. It really must be nice. As a fan of the Rays or somebody else, let the team sit back, continue to do shit, and then Aaron Boone will come tonight and say they had amazing at bats and they played a great game.
He
You
needs
know
to
who
go.
had amazing
I'm
at bats?
sick of Boone.
Glaber Torres, and that's it.
See, the thing is, like what Pete said, I think it was Pete that said it earlier. Everybody thinks they're power hitters, they're home run hitters, but they're not. Glaber's trying to be Stanton and Judge. Everybody's trying to be power hitters. No.
Aaron Hicks early in the year thought he was Mickey Mantle.
Hold on.
What
Let me
about playing
ask
Oh
you
my
this.
God.
Is anybody watching that? Like, so that the ball, right? The ball dead. Right?
Yeah, 453 feet.
Bobby friggin' Dahlbeck.
Dolbeck,
50
Yeah.
feet?
the tornado.
116 off the bat.
Don't
That
do
just
that.
I feel
Don't
like
do
his
that.
nickname needs to be the tornado. I don't know why. The tornado.
This kid looks like he just graduated high school.
Dude. And then I'm supposed to be content listening to Boone tell me at the end of the game,
No,
oh, everybody's struggling. Everybody's struggling. Everybody's struggling.
dude,
Really?
dude,
Struggling.
bro, I am begging Brian Hoke. I've been begging him. I said, Hoke, please, do me a favor and put this guy in his place. Somebody from your group of beat writers. Somebody.
they'll get fired. I'm telling you.
I believe it.
They'll be scared.
I
They'll be scared.
completely believe they're scared to lose their job. Kevin Kernan, ever since he went against the Yankees, New York Post was like, adios, good for the nice 20+ years.
So if that's the case, then what are we doing? Why? What are we doing? We're not asking the real question. We're just asking little kiddies questions. Come on now. Like we dodging the real questions here. Like and then we get boom.
And the other thing is too, it is always easy to beat up on your club when they're doing bad, but even when this club was going good, you had that feeling in the back of your head that we're winning because the pitching has been immaculate, and that's not going to last. So, and it's funny because, I think I retweeted and you guys probably saw, I think I probably sent it to you all, but the one guy that was telling me, well, the Yankees can't make a trade. Are you 12? Like, what planet are you living in? Well, nobody's willing to give anybody. My man, I'm not talking about getting Marte right now. I'm talking about getting somebody halfway decent to play a position they actually play.
Listen.
Oh, nobody's trade. There's been 28 trades already in baseball this year. 28 trades. You mean to tell me Brian? They went out there and got what's his name, McKinney. They still got somebody. They say, look, he can play the outfield. Yeah. What? You cannot sit here and convince me that Brian Cashman is not capable, and no team is willing to offer a AAA player that can actually play the outfield. That's impossible right now to do. He has to wait till after July 13th. Are you out your mind? This team will be out of contention by then. They keep this up. July 13th to make a deal? Come on, stop.
This is just.
Why can't they just go out there and get Marte or Gallo? Just do it for now. I won't be mad.
This is
if Cashman is saying
they don't even need that. They just look. Do you guys remember a couple of years back? And this was actually Brian Cashman. The Yankees needed a starter. He traded the same day for Al Leiter. You guys remember that when he traded for Al Leiter the same day? They needed a starter that day. He got Al Leiter that day. The guy came to Boston and started, and he pitched a good game. He pitched I think 5 shutout innings or something like that. But the fact of the matter is, you can do that at any time in a baseball season.
Yeah, it's true.
No, now that this is, listen, I was talking to good friends of mine, big Yankee fans, a lot older than me, and one of them was super run down, completely book closed on this season, and I was just like, nah, I mean, it's really early, and he's like, it's early, it is, but I can already see how the rest of the months play out, and so it doesn't really matter. And I'm gonna share it with you guys, see what your thoughts are on it. But basically, what he was saying, he's like, listen, the hesitancy to make a trade is because they just don't want to bring on more salary, right? You know that they don't want to go through the luxury tax, right? Because Cashman thinks that somehow is going to save his job if he finds a way to stay under the luxury tax, sneak into the playoffs, and make a bit of a run because the American League is not as strong this year. He's holding on to hope that somehow this team figures it out, gets into the playoffs, and ends up at least in the ALCS. And then he can say we made it to the ALCS or whatever without going through the luxury tax. And this way he's in front of Hal and he doesn't look that bad. He's like,
right.
Everybody that'll probably happen.
Everybody would get mad at me. And trust me, you guys know me. Everybody, I wouldn't make videos all the time. I wouldn't dedicate time and hours to this team if I didn't love this team. The best thing that can happen to this team is they don't make the playoffs at all.
I agree.
And I'm not even joking.
I agree.
Nothing's going to change. If this team ever does it again and they make a little deal, like Francis said, they get to the ALCS, they do decent. Yeah, we'll all be happy. We'll be cheering. We'll be celebrating. I'll be excited. Our hearts will get broken again when they miss it again. We'll say, oh, all they got to do is this in the offseason. He'll go on and add Joey Gallo, and we'll say, World Series champs, here we come. And it'll be the same damn thing year after year that had been since the end of 2009 when he told Matsui to go fuck himself. Let's be real. That was nice. Yeah. That was a nice slap on the ass. Your World Series MVP would take a hike. That was genius. That was beautiful. And who did he replace him with? Nick Johnson?
Nick Johnson. Listen, when my boy told me that, my response to him was exactly that. I was like, listen, I was like, you know what I think is gonna happen? Well, not think, but what I want to happen. I want them to miss the playoffs, or I want them to go to be a wild card team,
And get out.
Garrett Cole pitch his ass off,
We
but
still
They
play
they,
for it.
they lose 1-0.
They lose
Yep.
1 or 2 zip.
Yeah.
That's what I want. That's what I want. And the reason that I want it is not because I'm not a Yankee fan. Because just like people say, dude, I bleed blue. Like this is my freaking team from childhood. I never have rooted for another baseball team. This is my freaking team. I live and die with this team. I am passionate about. Like I'm looking at a 7-3 score with Boston right now. My blood is boiling. I can't stomach this. I'm not gonna sleep well tonight. I'm gonna be frustrated. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and still be mad. That's how much I care about this team. But I'm telling you that just like Pete is saying, unless they go out like that, it's gonna be more of the same. They're gonna keep trying to tell us, nah, we're good at like Aaron Boone keeps saying, like, oh no. Whenever somebody even alludes to a question about the people that they have in the room, he's like, no, we have 100% confidence in the guys in this room. Really? You do? Because I don't. And let me tell you why I don't. It's not because I'm not a fan. It's actually precisely because I am a fan. And I've been watching this product day in and day out. And I'm telling you that unless I was on the optimism freaking train, I can't lie and say that these guys are going to freaking do it. It just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Chad Green had a bad night. All right. Just gave up the lead and got touched up or whatever. Right. You'll have guys saying, oh, look at Green or whatever. Green's been phenomenal this year. Green is not a problem.
Yeah, he had a 193 before that.
The problem is, look at how many innings Green has pitched. In Green's best season with us, he wasn't averaging this many innings by June. Okay. Right. And this is for all the analytics junkies out there that are saying, no, because this and because that. No. Don't give me that. My biggest reason that Cashman has to go, I didn't even get to it before because I saw that Ottavino was coming in. And I can't even believe I have to look at this guy in a Red Sox uniform pitching against us and probably going to do well because that's just how shit goes. But my biggest reason for getting rid of Cashman is what he's done with analytics. That's the glaring mistake to me. Okay. When he came, all right, in the 90s, 2000, whatever, that stuff was just getting started. Nobody knew their ass from their elbow when it came to that. Okay. Fine. But here we are in 2021. There is no excuse for the New York Yankees. All right. The most expensive franchise. It's like the money that you make in a year, it's astronomical. For you guys to be that far back in terms of analytics, and we're supposed to be okay with that? Tampa Bay has a analytics department that is far and away million times better than the New York Yankees. The Astros analytics department runs circles around the New York Yankees. The Dodgers?
Didn't Cameron Maybin even say they're the most unprepared team he ever played for?
Yes. This and they spoke about it, and it's on a podcast, and they're laughing it off. It's like, haha, I came here and I couldn't believe or whatever. It's like, dude, that's not funny. That Cameron Maybin and Andrew McCutchen, guys who have played for a couple teams, show up to the New York Yankees, don the pinstripes, thinking, hey, I'm about to go through the ringer, man. I'm playing for the Yankees. This is about to be some serious. And they get there and they're like, wait, y'all don't like we not doing field drills? We're not. Oh, it's just one round of batting practice before the thing. Nobody's gonna do no. We don't gotta do bumping drills. We don't gotta do.
I'll raise my hand here and I'll come out and say, if you guys remember when they hired Boone, I was a big supporter. I said let him give him his time. People would tell me, Pete, there's something wrong here. And the only criticism I gave him in year one, I said this team looks horribly unprepared. They look like they didn't even have a spring training. They just jumped into the season. But that's every year, even the good years. They look very, very unprepared. Like they're not doing. They have no structure. That's what it reminds me. It reminds me of like a store manager, and everybody's like chewing gum in a restaurant. You're like, what is anybody? There's no structure in this place. Like, who this guy's washing dishes one day. This guy's the chef is also washing dishes. You're like, is there a structure in this team anywhere? And when Cameron Maybin said, they're like, damn, Maybin, you play for like 14 teams. The Yankees are the least unprepared. The Yankees? I was like, nah, he probably joking. But then you watch the club, you kind of put two and two together. You're like, maybe.
Look at all the fuss they made this spring training with the whole thing with the gas station. the gas station.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why? You know why that was a big deal? Because we didn't have that before this year.
Right.
Do you know who had a facility like that before this year?
Every other club.
Houston,
The
LA,
Orioles. The Orioles, bro.
Orioles.
Listen,
The Orioles. The
much-
Pirates had it.
as much as people want to like, just load and like crap on the Mets or whatever, even the Mets analytics department is far and away better than the New York Yankees. Do you see what they've done? Do you see what they've done pitching wise? Do you see the talent that they've brought up and the guys that leave there? Like look at Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler was a really great arm coming off of the Mets. Zach Wheeler's been, here and decent with Philly, right? But he's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna be like the high potential that we saw with the Mets, because there's something that they're doing over there in Queens that other teams just aren't privy to. They got something going on over there. Why don't we? Why is this the first year that we have a facility dedicated to pitching analytics? I'll tell you why. Because we just signed Garrett Cole last year, and Garrett Cole probably was like, "This is what you guys are offering." Like,
hey man, my boy Nate, who's been following me for a while, and guys, I haven't forgot any of the super chats, so we will still get to that talking about Severino and whatnot. But Nate brings up a good point. I thought about this a couple of times. Garrett Cole got an opt-out clause. Garrett Cole got an opt-out. You're not putting on a good show for that man right now.
At all.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you G Cole, you like, Yanks, I did my part, man. You guys didn't do your Cash. You didn't do your part. You promised me
And
the best team. We haven't had it.
Don't think for 1 second Garrett Cole won't opt out.
RB. If you're watching the team right now, and this is the same. Would you?
I'm out. Dodgers, give me a call. Dodgers, give me a call.
If you're Garrett Cole, here's why he can opt out. Because pitching is still at the premium. Simple as that. Nothing has changed. It's not Giancarlo Stanton in his deal where it's like, of course he's not going to opt out, because who the hell is going to pay him that kind of money for the rest of the years on that contract? But you mean to tell me that there's not a team out there that's not going to pick up the rest of Garrett Cole's deal and pay him? Of course they will, because
Francis,
elite pitching,
every single team will be on Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole's agent. Every single team will be calling for Garrett Cole if he opts out. Every team. Boston will be the first people on his line. Just rub it in our face
on his line. Like, what are we talking? Like, it's like, listen, that is something I don't even want to think about, because it's like we're 6-6, and Garrett Cole starts this year. That is an abomination.
Horrible. And the way he's pitched.
The way that he's
then you look at his stat line. You're like, all right, if somebody didn't know, if they just knew baseball, they didn't know what team guys played for, they would literally be like, is this like a pitcher on what, like one of the worst teams in the league? Yeah, actually. But it's actually the Yankees. What? It's like, really? Yeah.
Dude.
So
Garrett Cole.
Let me get to go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say Garrett Cole pitching his heart out literally has started the season better than he started any other season in his career. And we're 6 in those games.
So let me get to a couple of these questions real quick. And then obviously the game is Brooks Kriske is in right now. It tells you how much Aaron Boone believes his team could score 4 runs in the 9th.
Oh, yeah.
What are you all realistically expecting from Severino when he returns? Let's keep in mind that it's been a while since he's pitched, of course, but I do expect Garrett Cole to be a heavy influence on him. I do not know what I expect from Luis Severino, to be honest, and I'll be only fair here, as I said about a lot of the guys with the Yankees this year. My expectation is not to expect a lot.
Yeah,
and I think I'd rather be surprised than be let down. And that's the way I'm going into it with Luis Severino. If he does great, it wouldn't shock me. If he does terrible, it wouldn't shock me either. I mean, is he possibly an arm out of the pen maybe for a lot of the year? Is that a possibility too? But the Yankees obviously need a starter, and I guess we'll see. That's my opinion on that one. RB, what do you think about Louis coming back?
No, I agree with you. I feel like they'll probably most likely they'll bring him up slowly, like probably on the pitch count, like an innings count as well, like 4 to 5 innings probably, until they feel comfortable. But I've had people mention to me like they wouldn't mind having him come out of the bullpen, which
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to that either. Because how long he hasn't pitched for, like, what, 2 seasons? He's been out. He's been out
Year and a half.
a year and a half. You can't just bring him up quickly and say, "Hey, Sevy, you're gonna pitch 7, 8 innings. You know, we expect that from you." No, I'm expecting him to come up slowly, and then hopefully, miraculously, we make the postseason, he can hit the stride. But that's the reason why I also said that we should go after another starter pitcher as well at the trade deadline, because we cannot put 100% faith in Kluber and Sevy and us believing, oh, Kluber's gonna be like how he was pitching before he hurt himself. Sevy's gonna be like the old Sevy. I hope that's the case, but realistically, I don't think that will happen. So you're telling me you're gonna roll the dice with 2 injured pitchers coming back, and that now we good to go. Let's go. Let's disregard the starter pitching.
Yes. Brian Cashman will do that.
Yeah.
Yes. That. Well, look. I mean, I'm just being honest compared to what we've seen in years past. Injured guys coming back he will tell you that's our acquisitions.
Yeah, that is true. I was gonna say that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The trade deadline. Yeah, Sevy was our biggest acquisition. Kluber,
That's why. That's one of the biggest reasons that he has to go.
Yeah, me too.
I
I'm
mean,
out on Cashman. I'm out.
The number one reason, again, like I'll repeat it just so everyone can hear, is for me the analytics, because again, that is the most glaring thing. That with all the money that we have, just so that you guys know out there, you in the chat listening, there is no luxury tax or salary cap on how much you could spend on that personnel. Okay, just so that it puts it in perspective. The Yankees can literally spend as much as they could spend filthy, dirty sums of money to get the best analytics guys in their building, and they're not.
Francis,
they went cheap.
Sonny Gray and Cecil Sabathia in a podcast, I forgot which one it was. They said that they're way behind.
Yeah,
I remember that.
When Sonny Gray got traded, when Sonny Gray got traded to Cincinnati, what happened? He had one of his best seasons ever. Of
course, because
they said it. They're way behind.
You want to know how easy it is to? This is how easy it is to understand how far behind they are. They got a pitching coach who practiced analytics in college. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not knocking him. That's not a knock on him.
No.
That just to show that nobody in the organization is prepared for that level. So they had to get somebody who got knowledge of it. And he brought in all these different cameras and these angles and these things they do in college pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
That's how far behind they were because, like somebody said recently, don't you think the Yankees who are a World Series club, was it the best idea to bring guys in that never managed? You got Boone, you got Blake, Blake. Matt Blake. So, I mean, you got guys like that who have never done it. Joe, we'll go to you. What are you expecting from Sevy?
Well, I want to go back to when what was it? It was the spring training of 2019. And that's one of my main reasons why I'm done with Cashman. They played that situation out so bad because let's be honest, we all knew it was going to Tommy John. So why not they should have just gave him the surgery and they would have had him ready. They played it out and it just became worse because look at last year. What would it have been if we had Cole and Sevy? Because Sevy would have been back if they would have just did the Tommy John surgery, got it over with. But, Cashman played it out terribly. I don't care if Severino didn't tell you this or that. You do the test no matter what. And then now him coming back, I don't want to get my hopes up, but I think he's hungry. And I think he's like, I got Cole in front of me. So me and Cole I think he's hungry. I think he's going to come back. I could see him coming out of the pen and being a Jabba or a Phil Hughes type arm from like 2009. But I really want to see him starting. But realistically, they're going to build him up slowly, which is the right way to go. And then if we make the playoffs, I think he'll be ready.
Yeah, it's funny, guys, the more we talk about the Yankees and we bring things up, the more dysfunctional this organization sounds. We even talk about, look at all the things. Well, it's true. Look at all the bad judgments on injuries. How does that happen? This is $1 billion organization. How does that happen so often? Like, I want somebody to just be like, well, let me be realistic. Like, truly, teach me. Like, how does something like that happens so often. The year where Aaron Judge, I'll be out for 3 weeks. He's out for 3 months. Luke Voigt, his knee, he needs surgery. Luis Severino, it's nothing. He didn't feel nothing in the offseason, but yet I saw videos of him training his ass off. He never felt nothing. He was fine. And all of a sudden, spring out, he felt a little tightness there. Now he's getting Tommy John surgery. I mean, how many guys this happened to? I know we don't follow every other organization as closely as we do the Yankees, but I'm like, I've never seen, bad judgment calls on injuries like you see with this club.
It's ridiculous. Like, what's the point of bringing Cressy for? Like, isn't he like the top notch in his field?
Apparently.
They say he was the top notch, but we got to stop believing what they thought about the people.
We had
right.
The guy's name? Lamar running to first base. He's out because of a hamstring. What are we doing? Every time
my man still got a 40 roster spot too.
For what?
Yeah, Lamar.
Every time I see Judge run and Giancarlo Stanton run around the base, I'm scared for my life. Like, don't run, jog.
Well, I'll tell you what, the scariest thing, and my pops pointed this out yesterday. He messaged me the other day, and he goes, seeing Stanton run is terrifying. No, it really is, because
it is.
When is the last time you seen Stanton hustle down the line? He can't.
Yeah.
It's either he's been told, I know they said that they wanted to, ease up a little bit. Either he's been told you just don't have to run, or the guy physically can't. There's something wrong with him that he physically can't do it. I don't understand. I don't get it. I'm trying to figure things out. We got a super chat here from LI Yankee.
They just put in Gardner.
There we go.
Oh God, big news.
What the hell?
So here's LI. Yeah, what's going on, Joe?
Somebody
on base.
Chris Gittens walked. It's 2 outs in the inning, and they just put in Gardner.
Oh, 2 outs. All right. So let me get the LI Yankee super chat here. Here's a tough choice that is not tough. You trade DJ LeMahieu, Voit, Sanchez, and Stanton, and sell pieces and do a soft rebuild. That's not a soft rebuild, LI Yankee King.
That's our core players. What are you doing?
You just lost 2 of our best hitters.
I gotta say, and I'm happy I get to say this without having to type it out. Nobody trades DJ LeMahieu. I'm sorry. So that's wrong. Again, I tweeted with you about this, Justin. I gave you the time. Now I don't even know how to have this conversation with you, bro. Who's trading for Giancarlo Stanton? Who is taking on that contract? Who?
And what production are you getting?
Like, he keeps saying to trade Giancarlo Stanton to Seattle. No. Why does that make sense?
And then he gets Robinson Cano back. I'm like, man, I don't know what world do you live in.
Out for the year due to PED.
What
I honestly, Li, man, I honestly like you. I've given you time, bro. But at this point, I feel like you're a troll because I can't believe this is correct. I can't believe anybody think that
nobody
way.
In their right mind. Nobody in their right mind can continuously keep spewing out. No, you have to trade DJ LeMahieu, Luke Voigt, Giancarlo Stanton, and Gary Sanchez. What are you talking about? Like, you literally name the most unattractive trade pieces outside of DJ. Like, it doesn't make sense. DJ and
You know what's funny about him? This is going to sound insane, but it's going to be more realistic than him. With the type of rebuild he's talking about, the better thing, based on what he says, you trade your best player, Judge, get a ton of shit back, and that's better than what you're even suggesting.
Exactly. If you're talking about, we're going to make a trade that's going to be like a facelift to the whatever. You want to make a facelift?
Yes.
Aaron Judge is the trade. But a lot of Yankee fans don't want to talk about that because they can't imagine a world. And I understand that, especially looking at this offense where it's like he's the only one that seems like he has a pulse. It's like, how could we trade him? It's like, whatever.
Right.
But if you could trade somebody like Judge and get a young, controllable arm, and then two hitting prospects who are close, not close, but one can start playing immediately next year and one the year after, knowing that you're probably not going to sign Judge long-term anyway, that might be something.
Red Sox did it with Mookie. And it worked out great.
That might be something that
I just don't get it.
Does.
Yeah, and I'm just bringing that up because I'm like, I mean, what you're talking, I would take you more seriously if you're like, I would seriously consider that trade. I could sit back and I could understand that. But the type of things, like I see them, and I'm like, man, I honestly will look to have dialogue with just about everybody, but I can't do it no more because I almost feel like you're just trolling me. Like you're looking to either bother somebody or like get popular on the horrible trades. Who in their right mind? Let me name me one GM that would sit here right now and be like, I'm going to trade for Robinson Cano because I need to move a contract.
Like
any owner would be like, hey, yeah, you want to go home? You're gone. Just go, get out. No, and don't bring that crap to me.
And then he proposes 14 trades. How many times has there been a 14 trade in the MLB?
Never, especially not during a season. It's never going to happen.
Aside from that, 3-team trades are ridiculously rare. And in the middle of a season, I don't know.
It's hard. It's hard for a three-team trade. Imagine 4.
But he's proposing 14 trades with teams who historically don't even make deals with the Yankees, like the Mets, and people like, what are we talking about here? Steve Cohen is not calling Brian Cashman. He's not calling Cashman right now.
He will have DJ going to the Cardinals, Luke Voigt going to the Cardinals.
Oh my God!
Come on, what are we doing? Come on.
It's like, why are the Cardinals trading for Luke Voigt when they got Goldie?
They had Luke Voigt. They had him.
And that's right. That's right. They're just gonna pay more now for him. Now because he's finally established a little bit, they're gonna be like, yeah, what double up what you gave us?
Yeah, the Cardinals will be like, come back, Voigt, come back. We'll have you again. Come back. Return. That's fine.
It's like when you talk about like certain things, it's like, okay, Gary Sanchez, moving Gary Sanchez, 100%.
Right.
I'll drive into his next team.
If you can get an arm, in return, then move him and get something to bolster up the bullpen. This way, guys like Chad Green aren't freaking pitching until they get rocked or whatever. Fine. Yeah. But we're not going to go from a Gary Sanchez and then make a deal for a freaking Chance Cisco. Why would we do that?
Oh my God, please.
In the wintertime, we could sign a catcher who gives us the same thing. If not, like, Zunino only signed a 1-year deal with the Rays.
Look good this year.
Right.
Francis.
A 1-year deal. He's one of the best framing catchers and game callers that there is, and he hits for power. And he's a little bit more consistent with that than Gary Sanchez is right now. And he signed a 1-year, $3 million deal.
No, but check this out. Go make a deal with the Nationals. Try to restructure Patrick Corbin's deal so he can come to the Yankees. Bring that.
Oh, my God.
The restructuring, like this is the NFL or the NBA. How many MLB players have restructured their contract in the past? This is what I'm saying. It's like, because I talk to Justin, I respond to his tweets, I go back and forth with him because I'm just trying to figure out, like, where's this guy's head at? Where's he getting this stuff? But it's like, it gets to a point where it's like, man, you got to stop tweeting this stuff. This trade, it's never going to happen. I want to talk about things that are actually like maybe a possibility.
Realistic, yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let's talk about something that could maybe happen, but why is Seattle trading for Giancarlo Stanton, and why is Giancarlo Stanton waiving his no trade clause to ride off into the sunset?
And then we're getting Cano and Kikuchi back and Sager. What?
Kikuchi. Like, dude, if we wanted Kikuchi, we could have signed him.
Yeah, we could have signed Kikuchi.
Kikuchi was interested in playing for the Yankees.
But guys,
Otani,
give us.
Said he didn't want to come to New York. Kikuchi was interested in playing for the Yankees. Said no.
Give us all the Kikuchi.
Come on.
Give us all the Kikuchi.
But according to him,
I don't want
our window is shut. Our window is shut. According to him, our window is slammed shut. We got to get younger. We old. So
we're old. He keeps saying that this is the 2016 team. That's the most recent argument that we've been having. He's like, oh, if you're looking at this team, it's the 2016 team. This is the 2016 team. How old is Aaron Judge? How old is Giancarlo Stanton? How old is Garrett Cole? How old is Gleyber Torres? How old is Miguel Andujar? You know what I'm saying? Like, how old are these guys? You comparing them to 2016. Like, give me a break. This is not the 2016 team, and that's why I'm so mad. Because if these guys were the 2016, I wouldn't even be mad. Pete, Arby, Joe, I wouldn't even be this frustrated because I would expect this kind of product. The reason that I get frustrated, the reason that I get angry is because this is not supposed to be the product that we're putting out on the field with the amount of talent that is sitting in that dugout right now.
That's right.
And that starts at the top. That starts with the fact that Boone is a freaking pre-K teacher. He can't say anything real to the guys. He can't do what Torey Lovello did and chomp and call the guys out. I would love that if he called them out in the dugout after this game in front of everybody for national TV to see.
He
But
should.
he would never do it. He doesn't have the stones. He doesn't have the stones to do it.
No.
They didn't
I tell you what he has. He has a big Kikuchi. I tell you. That's what Li's talking about. He said, hey, you got to get him a new Kikuchi.
Gotta get him a new Kikuchi so we can have another one on the team.
So the game's over.
Game's over.
Yo,
This is
5.5 out.
We split with the Rays. We lose to the series against the Boston in our division. That's great.
Look at Alex Cora. He's
That's
like
great.
fucking Boone's terrible.
Alex Cora comes back to manage, and the Boston Red Sox has a spark.
Yes.
Oh, our
Yes.
man is back. Let's
Look
go
at
win.
Look at this.
Boone
And look, Odor is the only one who looks like distraught about this. He just got here. He just got here. Why is he taking this harder than everybody else?
Because he
This team, man, it's
either
God.
some of the players don't like playing for Boone. There's something going on. Like either the players don't like Boone, or I don't know.
I tell you what, that reaction the other day from Gio was kind of weird, though. It's like he wanted to go on off a little rant, but he didn't, because he paused for like a good minute and a half before he said anything. That was weird.
You never see Gio react like that.
There's been some subtle comments. If you guys
Someone's
remember
gonna pop off.
You remember too, Judge said that one day. He was like, we got to start being a team again. That was weird. I remember I caught that. I was like, start being a team? Like, why would we got to start being a team again?
And Glaber had tweeted that cryptic tweet.
Yep.
Or whatever.
About like taking it out on one person or something like that. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's something going on.
Falling apart at the seams since they started 5-10. And nothing was done about it because they started to win a couple games and everybody thought, oh, it's okay. We're good. We're back. Not realizing nothing had changed except we started playing teams who were even worse than us. And our pitching got a little bit more stretched out. So they carried us. That's what happened.
We thought we thought they turned it around when they swept the White Sox. At that time, they were one of the top teams. They swept them. That we go back to Detroit, we get swept. Like, what's going on here? There has to be something going on with Boone, the front office, something.
There's no accountability, Arby. That's the problem. Is that
None.
a team? I hate doing this because I have my problems with Girardi too. Yeah. But I promise you this
would never happen.
That Girardi-led team gets swept by the Tigers like that.
Never.
And Girardi doesn't rip into. He would have ripped into that team like
we could knock Girardi on things, and Girardi wasn't perfect, and we all know that. There's things you can rip him on. I'll tell you what, when the Yankees hit the field, they were ready to play baseball.
That's right.
Nobody can say they weren't. Because look, if you had this many times, and I'll give you another name out there that I really loved on the Yankee bench, and I still love him to this day. My man Tony Pena, who just disappeared.
It's a fact.
Love Tony Pena. Tony Pena, I really believe he had a big effect on Gary Sanchez because he didn't let him get away with nothing. Nothing. He was always in Gary's ear.
But the thing is, if you look at the Yankees and you look at our coaching and everything, the Yankees have been slowly moving away from those kind of guys.
100%.
Got rid of Joe Girardi. Tony Pena they just kept boxing him out until now he's just fuck. You know what I mean?
I don't even know where he is now.
Nobody knows where he is. It's like, and they just continue to box those type of guys out. Why? Because they want to bring in these inexperienced young people who are wide-eyed and just happy to be here type stuff, so that Brian Cashman can continue to run this team from his office.
God, it's scary, man.
It's not scary. A championship franchise. Don't give me that.
So that's my thing too. Where I would love to know where Hal Steinbrenner is. And I mean, I look at it now and I'm like, he's nowhere. I've heard him talk. When you hear him talk, you're like, that's why I said, man, I always put that clip of George Steinbrenner talking, because I love when George Steinbrenner said, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of this club. He goes, I broke many TVs in my lifetime. Like that makes me confident that we are seeing the best product on this team on the field. With this current team now, it's like, I myself talk about Boone. I myself talk about, Cashman. Do we have an owner who will pull the string and go, look, no, he's gone. I don't think we have an owner that's a fan that says, the product on the field. Look, we can say we messed up on some areas, but they're running the base shit. That should not happen. That has nothing to do with you, Cashman. That's the man on the field. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, the preparation. I'm sorry. I've never seen a team like this. Even look, I'm not the drill sergeant type like Girardi was more. Remember Musina got mad because he took away sweets? He was like, no, you guys are professional athletes. We want you to be in the best. He wouldn't let them be playing playing the way they are. Oh, when you're on the airplane, here's some Nintendo Switches. Play each other in Mario Kart and have a fucking pancake dinner next to you.
And
We'll get you
like,
Adam King. King's mom made pancakes for everybody. We'll serve them out to the whole team.
no, and look,
Strawberry Nesquik.
that was very telling. That video when they were on the switch or whatever, because you look at Garrett Cole's face.
Oh my
I'm just
God.
like, Cole is there, and he's like, "What are you doing?
He's pissed.
What are we doing? Like, what are you doing? Like,
He was lied to. He was lied to. Garrett Cole, let me tell you, he was used and abused. You're talking about somebody that I can't imagine what they told this man during the idea of signing him. Come on over. We're close to winning. We're going to add more. Get you here. They get him here. They got their big ticket. And now what do you do? Look, I've said it before. I talked to my pops is a huge Aaron Judge fan. He loves Aaron Judge. Always loved the big homer guy. Was a big McGuire fan. Loved Barry Bonds. Loved Sammy Sosa. Big home run guy. So he loves seeing a guy like Judge. I told him the other day, I said, Pops, if I'm Judge, I'm going to Anaheim. I'm getting in there with Trout, Ohtani, and taking that team. They got good prospects coming up. They're going to pay him, though. The Yankees haven't paid him, but they paid Severino. They paid Aaron Hicks.
Speaking of Ohtani, just went deep.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff to truly be mad about with this team, and I could see why Garrett Cole will be hot about that. I'm over here pitching my heart out. You are the guys that can't score runs, and you're sitting here having a partying.
Pete, like earlier this year, the whole rumor about the Angels and the Yankees talk about possibility with the Aaron Judge. My father, diehard Yankees fan, said, "Watch out if the front office decides that we're not gonna take the risk, give Judge a big contract, they'll trade Judge. Watch out for that. Don't be surprised. Like right now, little sprinkles.
We also learned that Arby's father is the most impatient man in the world." We have learned. He was telling me, "Hey man, get that jet started. I'm waiting."
I talk to my dad every single day about the Yankees. That's what we talk about, the Yankees. My dad says, "Arby, I don't even know what I'm looking at anymore. This is not the Yankees. I want everybody out. Sanchez out. Boone, get his ass out of here." Like
my dad right now, today, look, 10:01. There is no excuse. This Boone doesn't know what he's doing. Fire him. I was watching a game. He used everybody in one inning. One player left on the bench. You see Green has nothing left in the tank after first double. Get him out of the game.
We have our dads have more knowledge than Boone does.
Well, they look, at the end of the day, wisdom means a lot. And I still think it means, it's funny. Who said it? I think one of you guys might have said it. Somebody said something about Tony La Russa, and they're like, "Oh, La Russa sucks. He's this, he's that." And somebody was like, "Did you see both teams' records?" So you dissing on the old time dude, who they have better analytics than us because their farm system is Jack City. Okay, their farm system is Jack City. They're going to be good for years to come. So at the end of the day, a blend is a good thing, and that's what Kevin Kernan wrote in his article. A lot of MLB players, Rob Dibble, a lot of the guys that have been around for a minute, saying that analytics is destroying the team because it's making its way on the field now. When before it was build your team with analytics, but now let the manager coach the club. But now it's no longer becoming that anymore.
Nope.
So at the end of the day, I'm telling you, this team needs a manager. And I wrote that tweet. I actually thought that tweet would actually go viral because I was like, damn, I'm actually impressed by how nice this tweet sounds. Because it's true. It's accountability is gone. They don't have it under this guy. Nobody could sit here and be like, yeah, they do. No, they don't. They're not prepared. They're not ready. They don't play no small ball. You never see the Yankees hit sac flies. You never see the Yankees bunt the guy over. This is the perfect time to play small ball. Just starters aren't in the lineup.
Exactly.
Use a guy like a Ryan Lamar to bunt, a Kyle Higashioka. The guys that aren't your big sluggers. Let them drop a bunt down if there's a man on first. Hell, look at the times they're taking pitches. right down the pipe. Then 3-0, they're swinging. Then 3-1, they're swinging. They're getting a rally going. The first guy comes up. They got the pitcher on the ropes, swings at the first pitch and pops up. It's like there's no baseball knowledge controlling the club.
For them, that's not Yankees baseball. That's not popular. That's not cute, pretty. Listen, it's baseball. You score runs to win, not no pretty stuff. Oh, it's a home run or bust. No, that's the reason why we will never win, like you said, Pete, under Boone, Cashman. If I'm hell.
I allow everybody to roast me to hell if we win with Aaron Boone, because I till this day,
Me too.
hand up to God, they will never win with Aaron Boone as the manager of this club.
Me too.
Mark, you can't. How are you going to go up against an animal with Aaron Boone running with you? How are you going to go up against a powerhouse when Aaron?
And the thing is,
you froze.
The butt saying we scored no runs today, but we had decent X already.
we gotta hear. Oh, you know, Boone he's a great guy and whatever. And it's like,
Fuck
yeah,
that. I want him to run the team.
he's a great guy. He is. He
So
could be a
sick.
great guy at home watching the freaking game, or have him be a great guy serving food to them if you love him so much. He is not the leader of this clubhouse. There is no leader in this clubhouse. That's what we're seeing. This is the product of a team with no leadership. I'm sorry. I know we love Aaron Judge. They wanted to put the captain C. They wanted to stitch it on his jersey. They didn't even do that, but they wanted it to be. I'm sorry. Judge is not Jeter.
No.
Judge is not Jeter. Judge
haven't heard-
is not Jeter, because
You got-
Judge, as much as he said, you know, a couple things to the media here and there, whatever, there's no way in hell he's holding these guys accountable and they're showing up like this day in and day out. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. There's
agree.
no way.
I agree.
There's no way. Jeter was literally in the middle of games pulling people to the side. Hey, let me talk to you. No, come here. Let me talk to you.
That
You
well,
run,
if you
hard those 90
if you
feet.
read the stories from that team, they had a bunch of them though. They said that Tino Martinez will grab guys by the collar and push them up against the locker. Jorge Posada was the same way. O'Neal, even Brocious. Scott Brocious was a leader on the field. Scott Brocious about 220. Everybody said, we'll do anything Scott says. I mean, they had those guys that were like that. I mean, I agree with you, man. I mean, look, and I'm not, I don't even want to be an ass when I say this. I really don't. But this softness is coming everywhere. And it's like invading baseball too. It's invading everything that we're seeing in society, and it's affecting baseball. You mean to tell me you can't have look at Tony Lavello the other day. I sent you guys that clip. In the middle of the dugout, he's shouting at this team, pointing in guys' faces, saying, "All right, enough is enough." I mean, these guys are getting paid millions of dollars to play a game, folks. A game that we all play, that we all love. We all could imagine a life like this. I mean, it's like Derek Jeter's book. I remember reading when I was young, A Life You Imagine. That's one of the first books I enjoyed reading as a kid. I remember it. But he was talking about how he structured his whole life, how everything was built of hard work and dedication. And I'm like, you get to that point, and do you at some point just go, well, that's it, I'm done? Like, these guys don't see it as somewhat of pride. Like, even that clip I put of George Steinbrenner, he said, look, they don't have to like me, but they got to respect me.
That's right.
I love that in somebody. That's like if we owned a business. Do you want somebody that all your employees laugh at? It's like, I don't listen to this guy. They don't have to like him, but you respect him when he talks to you. I don't need a nice guy. I need a guy that, you know what he does? He gets the job done. Tony La Russa, does he seem like an ass? Does he seem like maybe the wrong guy for today's modern player? Yes, he probably is. He probably does. But I guarantee you, everybody in that clubhouse will listen to everything that man says.
Oh, yeah.
Whether they disagree with how he goes about certain things, cool. They could do that. They have a right to do that. Are they going to listen to him when he makes calls on the field? Yes. Yes.
Look at Alex Cora. Look at Alex Cora. He was gone. Boston played. They were trash. He comes back. Oh, our man is back. This is the man that we respect. We'll play for.
They show up for Alex Cora the same way that people show up for freaking AJ Hinch, who is a freaking douchebag. But at the end of the day, he coaches circles around Aaron Boone.
Kevin
So
Cat-
we have there's another story. Do you guys remember the horrible play in 2017 under Girardi? When, who was it again? Frazier, was it Frazier or Headley? Might have been Headley or one of them. They had a meeting after the game and they said they talked to him one-on-one and said, we got your back. We're going to make this up for you. Do you guys remember that? And he talked about it after they won. He was like crying.
The Cleveland series.
The Cleveland
Oh,
series.
no.
Remember,
he
he
didn't
talked
call
about
for
it
the
afterwards?
replay. He didn't call for the replay, and then Lindor hit the home run.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
And they were going to get out.
Gary was saying that he hit the glove, and he
Right.
didn't call for the replay, and then Lindor hit the home run.
But
and
when they
did.
won that series, he told a story about one of the guys. I think it was Headley or it was somebody. I forgot. They all pulled him to the side and told, we got your back. We're going to win this thing.
Yeah.
Like, we got your back. Don't worry. Because he was obviously upset about what, the mistake he obviously made. But I don't see this. These guys would go on the field right now and be like, hey, man, we really enjoy playing on this guy. We got to perform here.
No.
Somebody got to step up and go, guys, if we like the current situation, we got to help our boy out because he's getting bad reps right now because of us.
Yeah,
We got
exactly.
to do something. That's not, I don't believe that's happening here.
Marcus Timms did that interview. I shared it with you guys in the group chat.
Oh,
And
horrible.
It was interesting to hear that, according to him, there's guys who are blatantly just going off the script and not listening to what their plan is. When he said that in a live interview, that I could see why now the Yankees didn't post it to their channel or whatever. I'm like, that's a clear sign that this team is in shambles right now. Like, there's guys just legit telling the hitting coach, oh, that's what you want me, I'm not doing that. And there's no repercussions. They're still starting and they're still allowed to go out there and have those at bats. And there's nothing happening. It's clear.
Unbelievable.
And what Pete was just saying, like, if you had a manager that guys will rally around, there wouldn't be so many off days and, oh, I need to rest and, oh, this is aching me. Maybe I'll take a day. Guys would be running through a wall to get out there to play for their guy and make sure he doesn't go out looking the way Boone looks every freaking night. But these guys, they don't care. They don't care that Aaron Boone looks like this. They don't care that we're on this live chat hammering, Boone and whatever. They don't care. They don't care. You can see it in their play. They don't care. They lose a game like this to the Red Sox and another series to someone in our division, and they just pack up in the dugout and walk away. That's it.
Yep.
Play New York after we lose. Go ahead.
That's disgraceful.
Yeah.
That's what I said. That's what I said. The whole organization's a mess.
Yeah.
And I'm not joking when I say that. That stuff never. How do you play that song after the Red Sox defeat you? It's like they're trolling each other.
Yeah.
There's no accountability, like you said, Pete. There's no accountability from nowhere. We have a puppet that throws bowling parties after we get our ass kicked. Hey guys, you guys did great. Good at bats, Gary. Good hustle, Gary. Let's go. Let's have some fun afterwards. We need somebody with balls. Come on. This is getting embarrassing now.
Bro.
Like, where's the pride of putting that uniform on? Where's the pride?
They don't deserve to wear the pins. If I was the owner, and it's because I'm like freaking eccentric and a little bit extra passionate, but this team, the way they've played this year, like at this point, I would have literally showed up in the clubhouse, like probably when they got swept from the Tigers and said, yeah, guys, listen, you're going to have to earn wearing the home pinstripes again. Like, yet from now until I feel good and ready, you guys are going to wear spring training
practice jerseys. Yeah, that's damn right.
Batting practice jerseys.
Damn right.
Yep.
You're damn right.
Stripes again, because what you just did in Detroit was a disgrace.
Did Cashman go in the locker room, give his famous speech again? Cashman?
You're 100% right. And has Steinbrenner been anywhere near this team?
Steinbrenner is in Boca Raton with a tea time at 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Right. My thing is, can you imagine being a guy paying for these guys and being quiet? Oh, I would flip my shit.
Are you kidding me? The money that they paid John Carlos Stanton this year, and all he can do is DH, and he still gets injured? Nah.
Francis, what did I say? What did I tweet a couple days ago? Boone said on his interview, Stanton is 100% healthy. He will be playing tomorrow. What happened? He's benched. For what? What's going on? Is he 100% or not?
You know why he's benched? Because Giancarlo's like, listen, man, I'm getting easy 25, 27 mil. I'm good.
Yep.
If I want to play, I play. I'm not really Stanton. You can see it in his eyes. I know he gives the interviews like, oh, I care, whatever.
No,
I
he
look
doesn't.
at Stanton, and I'm not trying to knock him. I'm just telling you how I see it. I look at Stanton this year, 2021, and honestly, he's not in it. He's not in it.
He don't
This
care.
doesn't look like 2017 Giancarlo Stanton. It's not the same guy. Not physically. I'm talking about mentally up here. I'm looking at his face. I'm looking at his body language, and it's not there.
He's just
The
not
only
built for New
player,
York.
the only players is that I can see that they're really in is Cole and Gio. They're the only ones.
Judge to
And
me,
Judge.
Tyone is pitching his freaking heart out. He's doing his best. He's building
trying,
up.
yeah.
He's coming back. And that's what I was going to say. I never answered the Sevy question. Like, how do I expect Sevy to be handled? A lot like Tyone has been to start the season. I think that they're going to use that same approach with Sevy. So don't be surprised if Sevy comes back and his first game, he gets 4 innings and then he builds up to maybe 5 innings by playoff time. And then we'll see, because that's what it is. But to get back on the point, Tyone, I think, is in it. Kluber was 100% in it.
Oh, yeah.
Monty is in it. Domingo Germán is playing for his life, literally, because if he sucks, it's over after what he just went through. But the offense, there's a lot of guys who are out of it, right? Gleyber Torres is like in and out. And when he's in, he's not in for the team. Gleyber Torres is really starting to look like a me guy. And that
very much.
Don't
I
get
agree.
me started on that.
Yeah, Joe, go ahead. Chime in, please.
So this is what you just brought up, Francis, is literally what went through my mind yesterday. So Francis, I know me and you live close by, so I'm in the mall yesterday, co-op. So I'm walking in, and all I see is a poster, and it's Gleyber Torres modeling for I guess his clothing line. And I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? I'm like, because it's not like it's Nike. It's just like, I'm like, wow, this guy really is doing his own thing. Like it's just, I don't think he's in it for the team. I think he's in it for himself.
They're showgirls.
Yeah.
Joe,
you're gonna make the remake with the Yankees starring in it. Showgirls starring the Yankees.
If you remember, I don't know if it was our first roundtable or when it was or whatever, but I was just like, look, you could see it from Glaze Instagram like a year and a half back or whatever.
Yeah.
Like as soon as he caught a little bit of fire, everything was about his brand. Everything was about his brand and GT this and GT that and GT that and GT and all this, whatever. And it's like, okay, dude, I understand you're coming from freaking Caracas, but I get it. Dude, you come from poverty, you made it. You're trying to like really capitalize on this, but rein it in.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
you have
definitely
not arrived yet.
Right.
You have not arrived yet. You had one good season, and there's analysts out there who will argue you down and say that had a lot to do with the juice ball. So you still have a lot to prove. Okay. Just because you wear the pinstripes or whatever, and Aaron Boone has decided to gift you a starting role in this team doesn't really account for much, because there's other managers around the league who look at half of our lineup and say, if that guy was playing for me, he wouldn't just be starting every day.
Francis, no, I'll go a step further than that. If I'm Hal, I'll be like, okay, these guys think they could goof around and wear the Yankees pinstripe. Okay, they want to keep playing this game. That's fine. I'm gonna make a statement. Gleyber, you've been traded. You want to play these games? Jeff Passan a couple of days ago on live said Trevor Story that the Yankees that's the potential fit.
Yeah,
you know, and Pete said it so many times. We all said it. Would you trade Gleyber for Story? I was hesitant, but at this point, these guys think they can goof around, not putting their hearts into this, into this team. You know, if I'm Hal, I'm making a statement. Now you're not gonna embarrass me on live television every single night playing garbage. Like you can have AAA play better than you guys. I would trade you guys. I would get a haul for you guys, and I'll turn this team around. I'll trade Gleyber. Give me Story. Yeah, I'll make it.
At some point, it just, somebody, I don't know, I forgot who. I'm pretty sure somebody asked me this on Twitter, but they said, Pete, if they continue to play ball, and let's say, for an example, they're so far out that like, maybe it is best to deal some of these guys that are about to be free agents, right? And they do that, and somebody said, do you still believe that Aaron Boone will still be the manager? And I said, well, if you're admitting defeat and he's a free agent also, no. How do you keep him? I think they actually would. I really do. I think they'd actually keep him. I'm waiting for the day, and I'm saying to myself, how much lower do we got to go until somebody's held accountable? And nobody is, and it's the same result, and it's the same result, and it's the same result. And I'm almost like, are they trying to like, I don't even know how to say it, but it's like a puzzle I'm trying to figure out. What's the end game here? Because you can't sit here and convince me that this team truly wants to win. I can't be convinced of that.
I'll tell you right now, from yeah,
it's gotta be money.
Now
it's gotta be money.
That's why they play. That's why they play New York, regardless of whether we win or lose. Because whether the team wins or lose the game, they win. Because we watched. Because there were fans in the stands. Because people bought concessions. Because people bought jerseys. Because people are cheering for. They won. Whether the score, it doesn't matter what the score is, and that's why they play New York every night. Because Cashman and Hal win every night, win or lose. Those two walk away with a W because that's all they care about is the bottom line of money.
That's why.
What I mean. When you're telling me that, oh, we have to have a discussion about going over the luxury tax with the way that this team has played, it's very clear that money is what they care about.
It is. I mean, like, Hal can sit back and watch Boston win 2 World Series past, these couple of seasons ago, and then the Rays going to the World Series last year while we just get eliminated and get our ass kicked. That's fine. That's fine. We contend with that.
Hal comes off to me as someone who, again, is not as fiery as his father, but
nowhere near.
The only reason I'm giving him a chance is because, one, I don't have a choice. He's not going to sell the New York Yankees because why would you do? It's the same thing with the Knicks. People say, "Oh, if Dolan would sell, if Dolan sold the Knicks, he'd be an idiot."
Stupid.
You don't sell something like that. You don't do that.
You don't sell something like that. No, you don't.
So that's one. And two, I think at least I have to hold on to hope that Hal does in his heart somewhere care about this team winning something. He does realize that at some point for the brand to stay the brand, they have to actually win something. You can't just keep saying 27, and the last one be 27 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Francis, I'm praying, man. I'm praying for one thing. No joke. I want to see Steinbrenner come out and fire all leadership at his club and have a press conference on that day. I'm waiting for that message of a press conference happening.
He can do it now. Like you said,
that's what I'm saying. Right, that's my point. After
punt the season,
after every
exactly
after every disgusting game, I wait for the breaking news. I wait for a message of somebody being, hey, there's about to be something popping. Something's coming up. I'm waiting for something. It would be an honor for me to be the guy to report the hiring of Boone and the firing of Boone. It would be the greatest thing I could do in my life is to take Yankee fans out from the misery that they're seeing and honestly, the pure weakness. I don't want children watching this guy thinking that's how a man acts. It's not.
Listen,
it's not.
In all honesty, I've stopped having my son watch these games with me because I
don't blame you.
I want my son to watch winning baseball. Don't misunderstand me because some people might hear that and think, oh, you want your son to be a front runner. Absolutely not. I want him to watch winning baseball. Winning baseball doesn't mean you win every game, but you play to win every game.
Win.
You know? Let me tell you, so the Padres games, they come on too late. He's in bed by then. But we watch them. We watch them after the fact. And let me tell you why we watch them. Because that team, whether they win or lose, they play so damn hard every single game. Tatis comes off an injury and the same game is breaking to the plate like he didn't just come off the IL. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He does not care. No regard for human life or his body. He's throwing himself all around. Manny Machado is just, I can't, like, it's Francis, like.
Oh, Manny Machado doesn't play his heart out. That's the reason why he doesn't play his heart out. He doesn't hustle.
That's what they told us, right? That's what they told us. Oh, that, whatever he did. But I'm looking at him in San Diego, and it's quiet for him because he's in San Diego and Tatis has been so good. But let me tell you guys, Machado is no slouch either.
Not at all.
Machado hasn't been a slouch.
It's funny. Me and my pops were talking about that. The thing even my father said, He said, I'm sick of this thing when they call this guy a dirty player because he slides into a second baseman. Give me a break. Honestly, man, give me a break.
The softest generation in the world we living in.
Give me a break. Oh, I wouldn't want this guy in the Yankees. Look how he slid into the second baseman. What is he supposed to do? Pat him on the ass and pull his jockstrap? I mean, what are we doing?
When you get to second base, you're supposed to shake their hands and kiss them on the cheek.
Yeah, and say, I'm sorry.
Go play.
Or they get out, you got to kiss his ring. I'm sorry. See you later.
When you hit a home run, you're supposed to apologize before you start trotting.
That's true.
Yeah.
Hey.
Like
I'm sorry.
God,
I'm sorry.
I don't know if we're gonna see a change. I really don't. I mean, at this point, you're talking about, before we said, well, April's done, May's done, we're in June. How long do you go until you say this just isn't it? I mean, at somewhere in this organization, somebody got to be saying there's something wrong, fellas. There's something wrong. We got to make a change. And at some point, doesn't Cashman not want to be the scapegoat and go, Boone, I'm sorry, you're out. We got to see if another manager. And look, a lot of people brought this to me before. They said, Pete, well, who do you put in there? And I said, honestly, the best guy that I could think of off the top of my head immediately that could jump in and at least get this team to be ready to play baseball, not take their crap, and still work with analytics is Buck Showalter.
Of course.
But would Cashman want to admit a mistake and bring a guy like Showalter back? I don't consider.
That's why he has to go.
Yep,
because
I agree.
This is burning. It's crashing and burning this badly because Cashman refuses to pull the eject cord because for him to do that, he has to admit that his project failed. That he cannot manage a championship team from an office with his group of faceless nerds that he got from the discount store.
Brian Cashman doesn't like doing that. I reported that a while ago. That during my stuff before the offseason starts and I get information about what they're looking to possibly do. My most reliable guy that I speak to every night, when he puts it, I'll tweet it. He told me flat out, Brian Cashman does not look to admit a loss on anything he does. Exactly. That's why he's scared to trade guys now too. Mm-hmm. My man was scared to trade Chance Adams for Garrett Cole. Chance Adams, who is now somewhere in Kansas City's minor league system, getting lemonade for somebody.
Yeah. He hasn't pitched the inning yet, I believe, Chance Adams.
I heard he's a bat boy.
There's no way.
In today's generation, he might be a bat girl. We don't know.
He's a bat person.
A bat person.
Sorry.
Oh God! Listen, I tell you.
Listen, that's the reason that we keep saying like Cashman has to go. It's not because if Cashman would just admit defeat, Cashman is still don't get me wrong, Cashman has the potential to be one of the better GMs in the game. We've seen the potential with deals like Luke Voigt, with deals like Urshela. We've seen it. I'm not trying to discredit him. These were finds of diamonds in the rough. There are things in this organization that work really well because when you look at Gio Urshela and how many teams said no to him and look at what he is today, that is a find. So there's potential. What I'm saying is you got to admit that you're wrong and call this project off and say, okay, what we're going to do is I admit I'm wrong. Apologize to Hal. Hal, I'm sorry I wasted 3 years of your time, but this is what we're going to do. Boone's got to go. One, we're going to get a real manager, and I'm not going to get in his way. That's one. I'm not going to get in his way. Yep. He's going to come. He's going to manage the way he wants to manage, and he's going to let us know what we really have. If he comes back to us and tells us, listen, I know you guys are crazy about this guy, but let me tell you, work ethic's not there. I think he's going to fizzle out. He hasn't been producing. He's got to go. We're going to move him, right? Yeah. If he comes back and tells us that these guys, we're going to take his word for it and we're going to move on. Yep. And the second thing, we're going to get a real analytics team, like not the discount guys, not the discount store guys, not the geek squad from Best Buy on freaking Fordham Road. No, we're going to get real analytics guys. And I'm going to stay out of their way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually be a general manager. I am going to go and get the phones working and start talking and seeing what I can get, what's out there, what they're looking for, what they want. That's what I'm going to do. But in terms of lineups, bullpen usage, pitch counts, and I'm not dabbling in that anymore. If Brian Cashman would say that, I would say he could stay. But because I don't think he will say that, I say he has to go.
Well, this is the problem. See, if I'm the owner, and I'm sorry, but I believe in having a real boss mentality. I really believe this, especially when you're paying the bills. Especially when you're paying the bills at his ball club.
You know what it is, Pete?
What's up?
It's like the father, or the parent, whatever, that lets their child do anything and there's no consequences. That's what it is between Hal and Cashman.
100%.
That's all it is.
Because Hal Steinbrenner is this simple. Brian, come sit down. I want to talk to you.
No.
Here's I'm the don't even you live when you're the boss, you don't got to say you're the boss. So he just got to sit with him and go, here's the deal. We're moving forward. You're the general manager of the Yankees. I want you to general manager of the Yankees. Aaron Boone of the coaching staff goes today. I need you to find new guys for this club. I'm going to be a part of that with you. We're going to find some a new coach to figure out this team the rest of the way. Second part of it is you're not going to have anything to do with this coach when it comes to decision making. I want him to run the ball club. I want you to fill the players and add the players to this team. I want you to ensure that the analytical department looks a little different. There's things that we're missing that I know we're missing and is obvious by the state of play of this club. Are you comfortable with moving forward that way? If you're not, let me know now and I'll be happy to replace your position. That's the simple conversation a boss has to have with employees or somebody who's not doing the job. You got to let them know. This is what I expect. This is what you've done. It has not worked. We have to move on from here. I don't see the Yankee owner anywhere. I don't see him having a news conference going, guys, we're struggling now. I expect this team to turn it around. You don't see that happening here.
He only shows up at the end of the year.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He shows up
and he sits down in a cozy room on a recliner
and does a 30
he just goes,
interview.
Yeah, we're going to do this. We want to do it. Talk like the oldest saying in the world. Talk is cheap. Give me some action. Talk is cheap. Any of us could talk all day. When it comes to action, who's going to be the one to step up and do it?
It's like what Francis said. It's all about the money they care about. How getting that money in his pockets. We make it to the ALCS. We get eliminated. Hey, fans, we try. Don't worry. Next year, we'll be better. Baloney.
And that's why
it's all BS.
And that's why we're saying that the best thing that can happen to this team is not making the playoffs at all, or making 100%. The playoffs as a wild card and losing the wild card game.
Or failing so much before the deadline where they're almost forced to decide to become sellers. But see, I say it again, and I say it a lot. My only scared side of it. Then again, no, because you know what? Cashman did a good job last time they were sellers. I give him credit.
Oh yeah,
he did a good job.
Yeah,
the Beltran deal, that got other players down the line. They got Britton from the guys they got in that deal for Tate. Dylan Tate went over in the Britton deal. The Gleyber Torres. I mean, he did some things where you're like, that's actually a good GM. Those are good GM moves for a club who was failing.
Oh yeah.
So I don't mind him with that now. But Francis, I think you really hit it spot on. It's the idea of you got one job. Don't wear any other hats, bro. Do your one job.
He wants to be more than, I don't know.
I think the cash god crap got to his head. That's what I think happened.
This is what's happening though. And today it's not just baseball. It's happening in every sport where everybody they want to be more than what they are. Like LeBron can't just play. He has to be the coach too. Yeah. And the football players, it's like, I can't just be like a quarterback. I've got to be like everything else too. It's like, dude, Brian Cashman, you should be the general manager of the New York Yankees, and you should be grateful to be that. Do you know what that is? Like, I think what you said, like, I don't know how, it's been a while, but what you said a little while ago was like spot on. Maybe it's not a bad thing to say that he has to leave. Maybe his time is just up. Like, maybe that's it. Maybe he's run his course as the GM of the New York Yankees. Maybe
Joe Torre.
These things
Joe
happen.
Torre.
These
guys just, there becomes a level of comfort where the message doesn't get through anymore.
I think Cashman is way too comfortable in his role to be the GM of the New York Yankees. And it shows when the players are as comfortable as they are putting in this kind of effort. It just, no one should be that comfortable. Like we were talking about it in the group chat. Bro, this is the New York Yankees. Like, why is Gleyber Torres so comfortable playing this caliber of defense and not showing up really offensively except here and there, why is he so comfortable doing that and just knowing that his name is going to be scribbled into the lineup the day after? Like,
because the pride of the pinstripes is no longer being used as a good thing anymore.
We're the only
That's the truth.
We're the only ones who have the pride of the pinstripes. My boy.
But if you even look on Yankee, like a lot of the people we follow and we talk to and associate with on Twitter doesn't, they don't like the glora and the glory and the persona of the business style Yankees. They don't like that anymore. They want beards and I'm not, and again, I love beard. I have a beard. I'm not talking bad about a beard. What I'm talking about is like that clip of Steinbrenner that I keep sharing. He literally says it. He goes, look, these guys get paid a lot of money to play a game. I want them to respect the organization, the pride of this club. This club has a long running history. And if those are the little things we want, that should be respected. All of those things, the pinstripes is the most recognizable interlocking logo in the planet. You could go to anywhere. You could go to a village in Africa, and they're gonna know what the interlocking NY is. You could go to the poor kids in Venezuela. You could go to any country in the world, and they're gonna recognize. Somebody's gonna recognize what that interlocking NY is that Arby has on his head right now. Somebody's gonna recognize that. So the thing that truly bothers me, it just bothers me that there's so many that there needs to be a level of pride of playing with this club. And I just feel like everything we're talking about goes to that right there, that there's just a lack of care anymore. It's not the Yankees that we're used to. It's just not. We got to recognize that now as fans. I think we should. Yeah. This is not that same club anymore. It's not what it was.
We said it in the second roundtable. We said in the second roundtable, I said maybe, and I'll repeat it now. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, fine. So be it. Maybe I'm wrong for asking this franchise to be the franchise that I grew up knowing. Maybe I'm wrong. But I'm going to tell you what, it's really hard for me to reconcile what I've been watching the last few years with what I knew to be the New York Yankees, because that's the only reason why I get so thrown off and so upset and so angry at Cashman and so angry at Boone. It's because this wasn't the team that I grew up watching. This wasn't and it's not just about the winning, because we didn't win every single year. We didn't win every single year. Okay. We didn't win. We had tough losses. Okay. This is the same team that I watched collapse in 2004 to Boston. Okay. I didn't jump ship.
01. Yeah. 01 was heartbreaking. 01 was heartbreaking.
I was just telling somebody the other day, honestly, like, I think that one somehow, some way hurt me more than 04. It's hard to explain. Bro. But I ain't even
gonna tell you, man. When that ball hit, I fell on my knees. I was crying. Yeah, I'm not even joking. Yeah, I felt when Luis Gonzalez hit that ball and it bounced, I fell on my knees, crying in tears. Crying.
No way, a bloop single off of Mo. Like, come on. Like I don't want to get,
because obviously what happened to the city. 9/11 happened that year. It was such a beautiful thing. All the Yankees there, they're bringing up. At least they gave everybody something to look. I'm like. But the man had to happen to Mo Rivera, just the constant professional, can never do wrong, unbelievable human being. That happens to him and the Yankees. And like New York didn't need that, none of us needed that after that. And it was absolutely heartbreaking, man. I cry. I remember my knees collapsed. Like I saw an angel. They say you just fall because you can't, in the presence of, I felt my knee, I collapsed. I remember my dad was upstairs. I yelled about, he yelled up there, and boom, I just fell. I couldn't believe it. Yeah. And that was hurt, man. And I'm like, that happens to this team now. I think they just hop off the field and, they go to the bowling alley.
When's the last
time? They go to roller derby.
When's the last time you heard anyone on the Yankees speak the way Jeter spoke when he was in that interview? Everybody posts this clip all the time when they're like, oh, but like, if you go to the World Series and you lose in the World Series, that's better than just like losing or whatever. And he's like, no, losing is losing. And everybody starts laughing. And Jeter keeps the straightest face because he's not joking. When he's like, what's the difference in the World Series or losing? Losing is losing. You didn't win, you lost.
Yep.
But you went to the World Series. He's like,
and there's
but you lost.
Yeah. And some people are so shocked about that. Well, it's funny because we're here.
You're muted.
We're here talking about stuff like that. And I'm like, but even Hal Steinbrenner, the owner of the club, was like, that's not a lost season.
It's stupid.
So, it almost makes me feel like, am I doing myself a disservice getting aggravated about this club? And it's like, I'm passionate about the Yankees, so I'll never stop. Like this NYY News brand, man, I got thoughts and ideas that we have coming that I want to build this thing through the roof, that I hope our voices get even bigger, that we force upon the Yankees to possibly make change eventually, or that we're a presence enough that fans are like, that, that makes sense. We got to do influencers, as they call them, influencers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For the Yankees, I want to be that more than anything else. I want to be able to have us as a voice of knowledge of this club. But let's not fool ourselves and not forget that the owner of this club said losing and not winning a World Series is not a failed season. So that tells the mentality.
The ex-judge, every single season when we lose, get eliminated, the ex-judge, how do you feel about the season? Was it a successful season despite, get eliminated player? He's like, what are you talking about? We failed. It's a lost season. Doesn't matter which round you get to, you lose, you get eliminated. If you don't reach to the goal of winning the World Series, failed season. I tell everybody that. They get, but Arby, we made it to the World Series though. At least, no, you failed. You didn't win the goal. Okay, you didn't capture it. And you lose. That's a lost season. There's no.
Every season since 2017 has been a failed season simply because in 2017, that team overachieved. They were early. They were early. And they got to game 7 of the ALCS against a team that was cheating.
Yep.
And since then, have we been even back to game 7 of the ALCS? No.
6.
No.
6.
It's like that was the closest that we got. It's like we have not. So every season since then to me has been a failure because you're supposed to take that and take the next step and take the next step. If in 2017 we got to game 7 against the eventual World Series champions, then 2018, okay, Boston was a juggernaut. Fine. Okay. But then 2019 stuttered again, still shuttered, no pitching of nothing, whatever. Fine. Okay, again. 2020 shortened season. Oh yeah, injuries or whatever, still no pitching. Okay, fine. 2021, what are you gonna say? What are we gonna say this year? Like, and then it's the same thing. We're gonna go into 2022 still not having won a World Series.
I'm telling you guys right now, from now by the trade deadline, there's no big movements coming around like how Cashman, listen, we got to make some moves like ASAP. Like, listen, screw the luxury tax. Give me the guys that's going to turn this team around and we're going to go for it. Like, I
don't know if they can do that. And I'm not even, I'm not even being like a bearer of bad news here. I don't know if they can do that. What? Because at the end of it, who's behind Cole? You know what I mean? Who's behind Cole that you can match up against some great club?
That's why I'm saying
you'll still have Stanton, you'll still have that middle of the lineup, you'll still have your regular guys. To me, it comes down to two things, and RB, you're that's part of it. Going out there and adding some legit guys that'll make this lineup better. If you don't change the mentality of this club, they're never going to win. And I'm sorry, Boone managers rub off on teams. And to me, this is a guy who's a lackadaisical guy. His job was to come in to be the psychiatrist of the team, answer the media, never blame nobody, never call nobody out, make everybody comfortable, and let the talent take over on the field. That doesn't transition that way. It doesn't always work that way.
Doesn't, but I think that's what we need to take away from this. That's what we need to take away from this. This whole idea of a manager being a friend, a player's manager. Don't you remember when Aaron Boone came in and they were like, yeah, they're going to bring in a player's manager who has a better way of relationships with the media. Yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And you know why players' managers don't work? Because the players don't know what they need to be doing. Because if players knew what they need to be doing, then we wouldn't need coaches or managers in the first place. You know why coaching and managing even exists? Because players need to be told what to do. Talent is only as good as the people pulling the strings
around
on
him.
how the talent is used.
That's
You
right.
understand me?
That's right.
Like, we went and got a guy who was a player whisperer to tell people it's okay. You went 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts today. You'll get him tomorrow, champ. Don't worry. And then we're 3 weeks in and the guy is 0 for 35. Like, what do we do? Like, if
They
we
were good
take
at bat.
anything
They
from
were good
this,
at bat.
good at bat. If we take anything from this, it should be that this doesn't work. You need a real manager who's going to manage the team and not players, because it's not about managing players. It's not about managing, oh, Aaron Hicks, he says he's going to sit out because, he feels what's going on in Minnesota. Listen, I feel what's going on there too, but I went to work that day. So he can freaking go to work that day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Get a manager who's going to tell him, yeah, Aaron, you know what? You really want to do right by these guys?
Get on the field.
And strap them up and have the game of your life tonight. And then when you get off that field, tell them, hey, I'm dedicating this to so-and-so for this and that. Do that. But no. Yeah, he needs some time. He's gonna take a mental health day. Like, and I'm not the one to say what I'm just saying. Like, what are we doing? I never hear Dave Roberts talking about this crap.
No.
I never hear Dave Roberts talking about this crap. Okay, I never hear it. Why is it that we have to hear it as fans of the New York Yankees? We've become a joke of a franchise.
Nobody got each other's back. Nobody. Yeah, every man from themselves.
It's like, I don't know.
That's why if I'm having a meeting ASAP. Listen, you guys think I'm joking. Mm-hmm. Either we're gonna be sellers, like what you guys said, like the best thing possibly can happen is we don't make the playoffs, or I'm sending you guys out. I'm trading.
Bro, he's the boss. I mean, that's my whole thing, man.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't fire dude to the media. I would fire the dude in front of my team. No joke.
Yeah.
I would. I'm the boss. I don't care. All of you in this, I would say it flat out. Everyone in this room could hate me. Yeah. I sign every single one of your checks. What you're gonna do is respect me and listen to me.
That's right.
The manager that we had is no longer the manager. You want to know why he's no longer the manager? Because you guys didn't respect him enough. You're going to get somebody that's going to respect you tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm not joking.
I'll fire everybody.
As that. And on top of that, don't think your salary protects you. You want to be part of the Yankees, you're going to earn to be a part of this. If not, you will sit this bench. We'll get rid of you.
Exactly.
Think we can't, we will.
Sure.
That's the thing. There is no threat on this club. I've talked about this for years. The friendly competition. They're scared to even do that. They're scared to tell Gary Sanchez, look, we're going to have to make a switch. They had to wait till this dude to collapse to make some sort of a little bit of a, hey, we don't have a starting catcher right now. We'll just see. We'll go day by day. Greg Bird, immediately, he's the starting first baseman. You're like, there's no level of competition here. And then he struggles and everybody's like, oh my God, what do we do? Well, we just gave him a spot. Gleyber Torres, hey, have yours. Who else wants it? But then we're told, Clint Frazier, you finally been given a spot. You're hitting 170, but the guy who's finally hitting decently in the minors, we're being told he's not ready to play yet.
No.
When the whole team is, it's like they're living in a fantasy world. Aaron Boone comes out there. Well, usually the top offenses in the league hits into double plays and hit the ball hard. Sir, what team are you managing? Not watching. What team are you managing, bro?
Oh my God.
Sometimes I think that Aaron Boone is like mentally at Padres games. The way he talks about this team, it's like, dude, are you watching the same game?
He's one of those dudes that can like take their soul at their body and just go somewhere else during the game.
He's not like he's doing like instant transmissions, and he's in San Diego and it's sunny and 79 and Tatis hitting 2-run jams and he's just like, we're doing great. We're doing great. Like, what are you guys talking about? What's the problem? I don't see anything wrong. Dude, everything is wrong. Everything is wrong. Okay? Like, the fact that Judge is still able to hit in this lineup, to me, just is a testament to just how good that guy is.
As a ball player, that's right.
When you come into Yankee State, like, you know how sad it is that I'm about to say this? I said this in my head the other day. I didn't want to say it out loud, but I'm going to say it now. The New York Yankees have become, we're the get right lineup for pitching.
Yeah, that's right.
We're the get right lineup for pitching. Yep. Pitchers want to pitch against they're like, if pitchers are struggling, they're like, dang, when do we play the Yankees? I hope I get a start against it. We're the get right lineup. That's what we are. And Aaron Boone is sitting here telling us guys are turning corners and that he believes in the guys in this room or whatever. You know what? You know what? They killed La Russa for not backing up his player with the whole home run thing and everything. And I didn't like that.
Right.
I didn't like that either. But let me tell you something. Give me a little Tony La Russa with this freaking team. I'll take it because at least it's something.
He was training him out.
That's why I said, you know, Buckwalter to me is a better version of Tony La Russa because I think he can really work well with the different personalities, the different backgrounds of players. I don't think that's going to be a tough thing for him. Tony La Russa, you could tell he struggles with that. He's older. I understand that. I could understand. Like that's what I said. People right away want to go ahead and toss all these horrible names at him and all that. I understand where he's coming from. I get that. I get the idea that he probably can't relate with these guys. And anybody, when you hired him, that should have been understandable. But his job is to coach the club that he has. Simple as that.
Thank you.
So that's what I feel like you have to do. But somebody mentioned this in a comment. I forgot that Aaron Boone said this a while back. Do you guys remember when Aaron Boone said he does not believe in players getting hot?
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I remember A-Rod, they asked him about it on ESPN. Oh, yeah. He was like, well, then I'm shocked because this is coming from a former player. Yeah. Like you trust me, when you're hot, you know you're hot. That's ridiculous. That's why he's comfortable with sitting guys anytime they want. They don't apparently believe in players getting hot. That's insanity.
It's baffling. It's mind-boggling. Hey, and Duhar, you did great, but you'll be benched tomorrow.
That's why we have to like look at the models of success around the league, because as much as teams like the Dodgers and the Astros are analytically driven, when it comes to things like a player who's hot, they understand that you got to throw the computer out the window right now. If a guy is on a tear and the computer's telling you not to start him because it's a lefty starter coming into town, but the guy's hot, they're good. No. He's starting this game. Let's see what he does against the lefty.
100%.
The problem with us is they're like married to the Geek Squad, and whatever they say, it's like, no, this is the lineup. This is the lineup. Voit is leading off. Tonight, he's the leadoff hitter. That's what came out of the machine. That's what we got to do. Odor is batting second. Gardner's batting second. That's a moment tonight.
A perfect example. Glasnow pitched. What did Boone did? Bench Stanton. And Stanton is good against Glasnow, but he benched him.
Mind you,
he said, "Oh, go
they're
ahead."
Using too much of it's like they're trying to solve a math equation. At the end of the day, baseball is a reaction sport, and you're not gonna calculate what's gonna happen.
Yeah, Michael K said this the other day, and I'm very hot and cold with Michael K. Like sometimes I really agree, sometimes I really disagree. But the other day he was like, whatever happened to like when your team's struggling, just going in and telling them, hey, listen, today, forget all that, this analytical stuff, whatever, for one game. Let's just go out there and play baseball today. Let's go out there and play baseball. You guys are Major League Baseball players. Let's go out there and play baseball the way you know how to play this game of baseball, and let's see what happens today. Right? Let's get back to basics. Let's go play the game.
They're being coddled. They're literally that's what all this comes down to. This team is truly being coddled. You could tell. I mean, early on, I had more people get mad at me when I talked about, it's not his fault. It's not his fault. Now the same people like fire him. You got to get rid of him at this point. Yeah. Because it all comes down to, again, at the end of the day, whether you're the figurehead or not, you're the manager of the Yankees. If the Yankees aren't performing, unfortunately, you're the easiest scapegoat. So people act like I'm talking about when I say fire Boone, that means it is all of their problems. Not at all. That's not at all their problems. But there's no doubt about it. You can tell right now what they're doing now isn't working. It's basically like you're at a job and you're telling your manager, I don't know what's going on, man. It's just the same result. I don't know what's going on. And his response to you, he asks you, what are you doing differently? Nothing. And he just gives you a stare like, yeah, that's probably the issue. You're not changing what isn't working. The Yankees aren't doing that. They haven't done that. So at the end of the day, I mean, what change can you actually expect when your club isn't doing anything to be different? There's a good time to make a change. You know when that time is? early in the year where your team's at the worst. How much worse can this club get than what we've seen so far? This is not a good baseball team.
They want them to fall behind the Orioles, apparently.
Hey, we're
It's-
already 5.5 games back. 5.5.
Listen, and that's the crazy thing is that you're gonna have people, analysts and people come out there, especially the Yankees, the people who will like work with them, gonna come out and say, well, it's 5.5 games is really not all that much. I mean, you could change that with 2 good weeks of baseball and things.
Right.
It's true. It's true.
It is true.
But what has this team done as of June 5th to show us that they have a good 2 weeks of baseball in them?
They don't.
We
First
don't.
of all,
So that's why we're upset.
Good bullpen arms, their good bullpen arms are getting exhausted, as we're starting to see already. And who couldn't predict that? I've been saying that since the early of the season. I kept saying, how long are they going to go? They can't go much longer. Kluber's now hurt, so you're down a starter. Michael King looks terrific, but again, he's still unknown. I think he looks great. I try to hold on to that guy as much as I can because Michael King. I talked about Michael King with a friend of mine the other day who's followed his career, and he told me flat out Michael King early on was throwing 91, 92. Now he's throwing 93, 94, 95 with bowling ball movement.
Yeah.
The ball's like a bowling ball. Like it curves a ton. So he has great spin on his ball. So there's a guy you want to keep around. But where is it right now with this current lineup, the way it's constructed, that you can sit back there and just be like, at this point, a few chips here and there. And yeah, I think we're the team of the league again. Those guys aren't out there. You know what I mean? They're not out there to build. And again, our system is good for a few players. Our system isn't good to add a Scherzer, a Marte, a Frazier. It's not good enough for that. So they got to pinpoint their moves and make some strong decisions. That's why I've been saying, give Florial a try. Give him a month. What's it going to do? Oh, he hits 190? Okay. He goes to AAA. Nothing was hurt here.
That's fine.
They're hitting 190. They're hitting 170 right now, the guys you got. At least he's an outfielder and he plays the position. You're not losing on defense. You know that. The kid comes up and he pops a little bit. He steals bases. He hits a few homers. Who knows if he hits 255, 245, and he's adding a different dynamic to your team. And now all of a sudden, everybody else is like, oh man, look at this. He's coming in good, let's go. And the offense is pumping a little bit. They have no desire to do that. Brian Cashman told a fan, Florial will come up and get destroyed up here. He's the guy's boss. He literally told fans his young stud in AAA would come up here and get train wrecked.
And what did he do when he got caught up? Almost hit an opposite hole run.
Exactly. But the point of that, can you imagine you're basically throwing one of your young studs under the bus saying he's not major league ready. What does that tell it? If I'm another club, right? I'm trading Adam Frazier. Yeah, I want Garcia, somebody, and throw me that guy Florial. Oh, no. We can't do all that. Oh, Brian, you mean the guy who wasn't ready to play on the Yankees? I'm pretty sure he could play on my Pirates.
Right now. Now. If we traded him to the Pirates in a deal, he'd be starting the next day. He'd be starting the next day. You think they care about if he's like, but my whole thing is, again, and even with the Boone stuff, right? Because I still hold very true to the whole thing that Aaron Boone is a mouthpiece and is not like the biggest problem here. I think the biggest problem, like I always, is Cashman. And I think until we get rid of Cashman or Cashman admits defeat, nothing changes.
I agree.
But Boone has played his role in this. And
100%.
His role is that, listen, if I'm Aaron Boone, if I came in to be one way, fine, right? But after this many years and I see how badly it's going this year.
Got to talk up.
I'm sorry. I'm not sticking to that shit. I'm like, first of all, I don't even have a deal that's got, that's secured for 2-3 more years. Like, I could be out of here at the end of this year anyway. So you know what? I'm going to try it my way now. I'm going to try it my way. I'm going to scream at a couple guys. I'm going to bench a couple guys. I'm going to tell a couple guys to get it together. I'm going to really freaking like lay into guys or whatever. And if they fire me, so be it. Let them fire me, and I'll be on MLB Network the next day saying, yeah, I got fired. I called guys out.
That's the reason why I say it. And it's not me just knocking. It's not me just looking to knock Aaron Boone. I look at the mentality of the person. How do you, how do you, maybe it's just me. Maybe I was raised this way. My dad instilled in me the idea of being, being the man. You are the man of your family. Help your kids grow up strong. Help your wife. Do those things. Earn money, earn income, help. Support. Go as far as you have to be that guy. I could not get a job at the Yankees and be told you're just a manager, but you're not really doing much. I couldn't do it. I would sit there and be like, yeah, well, all my life I wanted to coach the Yankees, but I can't throw my pride on the field, step on it and say, yeah, I'm just give me the hat to wear. I can't imagine being Aaron Boone right now and going on Twitter and looking up the responses you get. I can't imagine it. I can't imagine being Aaron Boone's wife or his kids saying, man, Dad, look what they're saying about you.
Dude.
I can't. I could never. I could never do it.
Cashman probably got on Twitter and saw all of us begging for Chris Giddens to get called up, and that today, all right, let's give them what they want. Giddens, you're up. He probably
rolls a little one of the little things and it lands on something, and that's what they decide to do for the day.
Yeah, I think with Boone too, the thing that just gets me so much is like, all right, fine, if that's your job description, that you got to like run the team this way, fine. But like, how is it that they get him to do that and not admit it to the public? Because if I wasn't the one putting out these cockamamie lineups every day, after a while, I would have just told people, listen, our organization does things this specific way, right? We have an analytics department that spits out these lineups, and that's what I put out there. So you guys saying, why do I do this? Why do I do that? I can answer to you what our analytics department is telling me. But This is not necessarily my lineup. I would legit just say that. But he won't say that because he's such a company guy.
Hey, bro, at this point, here's my conversation with Cashman. No joke. I'm pulling Brian aside and say, Brian, look, I know what I agreed to when I got this job, but I can't manage this club this way. Nope. So either we part ways now or you allow me to be a manager. Yeah. If truly, either we part ways now, I'll be happy to resign. You don't even got to fire me. I'll make up some sort of excuse if I have to. But if I cannot be the regular manager of this club, I'm sorry, but I'm done here. This is not working. I don't want to look like the guy who's not doing his job when I don't have no control over this. I want to prove that I'm a good manager and I can help this team win. I care about those guys in there. If we can't make this work, I'll be happy to walk away. That's it. So that's when people tell me I can't put the blame. Yes, I could put the blame on Boone.
Yeah,
because he's allowing it.
He can do that.
People act like if he goes against it, what's gonna happen to him?
No, he's like they're gonna beat his ass. Like, what
they're gonna kill him? They're gonna throw him in the street, tie him up, and everybody's gonna throw rocks at him?
No, apparently he'll disappear and nobody will know what happened to him.
I mean, I'm like, yes, I put blame on him because he's going along with the plan.
Yeah, and that's what it is. He's such a company guy that he's like defending the plan. On top of that, not knowing that, when this really hits the fan, guess who's gonna be the scapegoat, buddy? Yep. You are going to be, they're going to fire you and say that we just felt we had to move in a different direction from Aaron. We wish him the best and all this or whatever. And guess what? You leave here with zero management experience because you didn't manage a damn thing. Who's going to hire you? Tell me what franchise in their right mind, unless like there's a dire situation, like what happened, like where they had to suspend managers or whatever, and the team is like about to start a season and they need somebody.
He'll be on. He'll be what you said before. He'll be an analyst on MLB Network.
He'll be an analyst again. Who's gonna hire him? He has no management experience.
He'll be on the booth of ESPN probably. Yep.
Come on, bro. Like we're like, this is not a serious organization.
No more. It's not
a serious organization. We have Buck Showalter and David Cohn on microphones when they should be in the goddamn dugout.
Yep. Paul O'Neill as well as another one.
Like, what are we doing? Like every time I
see the crazy thing too, you're right, because I tell people this all the time. Cohn is the best guy. I've never heard anybody speak about pitching like Cohn does, and he knows analytics better than I do. I don't know much about it. David Cohn knows.
And who do you hear that Garrett Cole likes to spend his time talking?
Cohn.
Coney, he's always talking to Coney.
He said they could talk hours about base. They could literally sit down and talk hours about pitching.
I don't know that he's talking hours with Matt Blake. I don't know that he's talking hours with Blakey. And it's no shot at Blakey. But if I'm Garrett Cole and I'm like, dude, you just came out of college. I came out of college like 7 years ago. I'm gonna go talk to somebody. You know what I mean? Like, no disrespect.
Hey, that exists. Hey,
like-
bro, it exists. All
It's
that,
like
that's logical. That
Eric
exists.
Cole wants to talk to somebody who can actually teach him something, not somebody that he has to teach. It doesn't like
nobody's stepping up.
He's a good piece to have as a part of a collective.
Yep.
But he can't be the guy.
Nah, man.
Not when you got Cohen in the booth, like literally calling and dissecting at bats or whatever. You know how many games I've seen where Coney's like, yeah, I know what he's going to go to here. He should probably throw this or whatever. He's like, oh, they called that.
100%.
Oh, I don't know. And then they throw the pitch that he said they probably shouldn't have thrown. It ends up getting smacked into the gap. And he's like, yeah, that's why you got to kind of go inside there. It's like these days pitchers are afraid to go inside, but you can't be afraid to go inside. And I'm listening to it and I'm like, oh my God, wouldn't it be nice if somebody was telling this to our pitchers, to our young pitchers, like telling Davy Garcia, it's okay to throw inside. You don't throw as hard as these other guys. So you have to throw on the inside part of the plate so that it gets on them quicker and they step off. And now your soft stuff plays better to the outside part of the plate. Why is it that my uneducated and unfreaking, not uneducated, I have a college degree, but I mean, like in terms of baseball, I didn't play in the league. And I know the most simple way for Davy Garcia to be effective in the league. And it seems like nobody tells this kid that.
Well,
like,
that's
why
the
does it go to
point.
Pedro Martinez?
That's why that Kevin Kernan article was so good. It's literally one of the best articles written that I've seen in baseball for a long time, because that's exactly what he's saying. The idea of the fun of baseball was everything that baseball is now going away from. They don't want it like that no more. And it's all because of analytics, because analytics tells you against a right-handed batter, throw him the hard stuff outside, get him to chase something. I'll go after it. But, look at all your all-time greats. At some point, it's kind of like when you use history of the world, right? You learn from history. You learn from mistakes. You learn from the bad times. You learn from the good times. You learn the bad stuff you learn about. You don't want to repeat it. So that's why we got history. That's why you don't cancel history. You learn it. Yeah. It's the same thing when it comes to players that were great. It's like somebody told me today, with the dead ball era, some of the older guys wouldn't do well. I looked at him. I said, my man, they have, first of all, the old time players play with a ball that was like a brick. 1 and 2. Do you know what a guy like Tony Gwynn would hit today with shift? He couldn't even shift against. They wouldn't know what to do against Tony Gwynn. That's why the idea, I love when they tell me this too. Oh, it's not as easy as it looks for these guys to poke the ball to left field. Yes, it is. They're professional ball players. It's like when you play Pepper. Remember the game Pepper in baseball? You just hit the ball to the person, bing, bing, bing.
Yeah.
That was to get your hand-eye coordination. These guys have superior hand-eye coordination. Tony Gwynn can hit the ball in the trash can 370 feet away, getting a 95-mile-an-hour fastball in at his ankles. Okay, Barry Bonds, Wade Boggs. It's not that they were so much better than everyone. They knew what they were doing. They knew what their approach was. Guys are being told now, bat 200, hit 25 homers, and have an on-base percentage over 3.5.
And that's it. That's all you.
That's it. That's all
robots.
we want from you.
And it's a joke because it's like you're limiting people. Like telling Gleyber, like I don't know if they told Gleyber Torres, man. I hope they didn't, but I don't know. It seems like they told him that he was a home run hero or whatever. And I think that's the worst thing you could have done. Gleyber Torres should have been looking at your DJ LeMahieu's, your guys, your Jeff McNeil's, your Whit Merrifield, these contact guys who are like hitting with consistency, always getting on base, setting the table. Like Gleyber Torres could have been that with a little bit of pop. You know how dangerous that is if Gleyber Torres actually plays that way? Like not swinging for the fences the first 2 pitches and then going to the contact approach, but actually showing up with the contact approach from the beginning. Like, and then you hunt a mistake. If Gleyber Torres was a singles guy who just kept getting on base, right? And occasionally popping one out or whatever, he'd be way more of an asset to this team. Because when you look at this lineup, we don't need him to be a home run hitter. That's what Judge is there for. That's what Stanton is there for. That's what Voit does. That's what Sanchez is supposed to do, but he doesn't.
That's why I've just begged for contact. That's why I've been begging for contact. I remember when I got the first message And I was told that the Yankees had interest in Frazier. And I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome. That was 2 years ago. I was like, that would be a good pickup because I knew what the guy was. And now he's just getting better. Frazier, what is he? He leads the world in doubles. He doesn't strike out.
He's batting 333.
He's batting high. That's all this team needs. And we've known that for a while. That's all this club needs. That's all they need.
That ball error. He's batting 333. How does he do it?
Yeah.
How does he? And he's on a team.
Look how he's built. This is not some big guy.
No,
guy's small.
But look at him. What I look at is look at the team that he's on.
Yeah.
Pitchers can literally come into those games focusing solely on how to get this guy out because I don't have to worry about 7 of the other guys on the lineup.
That's right.
And he's still hitting like that. Imagine if he was surrounded by other hitters.
You know who's another good one? I think Pete mentioned it. Brian Reynolds.
They'll never get him though because you got to be out. You'll be out your stinking mind to trade Brian Reynolds, especially with Key Brian Hayes. Look, I follow the Pirates very closely. Yeah. I've always followed. I don't know why, but I know a lot about the Pirates organization. I got a lot of close friends that are with the Pirates that know about the Pirates well. Key Brian, they gotta, like, people knock them. They have bad management and bad ownership. Unless this team could have been good a long time ago also. But they finally have a couple of guys coming up. They also got another young outfielder. O'Neill Cruz is their shortstop one of the top prospects in baseball. Tall guy, big hands, wraps around a bat, going to be a big hitter too. They got a promising team there. So what they would have to decide on really is, can they win in 5 or 6 years? I think they actually have a shot to be good, at least to be very good
in that division.
And you don't trade a Brian Reynolds if that's the case. You don't trade a Key Brian Hayes. You don't trade a lot of these guys. They have a chance to be good.
I mentioned Brian Reynolds to people because they be asking me, what about Brian Reynolds? I'm like, they're gonna ask for a haul. They laugh at me. They're like,
I mean, trust me. Look, if it was even a conversation, if they're willing to trade Brian Reynolds, you could have everybody. I'm not joking. You could have whatever it takes to get Brian Reynolds. He's a guy. No, he's a guy that I would consider trading Dominguez for. And I'm not even joking when I say that because he's established. And what is he, 24, 25 or 26? He's
26.
Controllable for 5 years. I mean,
they're saying, I told them you would need to give up a haul for Brian Reynolds. They laughed at me. They're like, I'll give a bag of peanuts and Snickers for Brian Reynolds. I'm like, go ahead. They'll laugh at you.
They don't know. I'm not. And look, we could make fun of LI Yanking and joke about him. There's about 25 to 40 to 100 others that are just as bad when it comes to talking about trades.
They're saying that, why would I give up a haul for Brian Reynolds? He's 26, 27. I'm like, do you know what he is? This guy is switch hitter. He's batting right now 292 with 8 home runs and 57 hits. 292.
And he's also an elite outfielder.
Exactly, but no,
he's worked on that too hard.
That's another thing.
This is the problem with some of the fans. Ketel Marte, caliber all-star player, switch hitter, outfield, plays the infield. Oh, but I'm not giving up a haul for an outfield.
I can't.
No.
I won't give up. I won't give up this guy for him. You mean the guy who never plays and is not contributing right now to us?
Exactly. So what do you guys want?
You mean the
we want to
guys
give up?
Aren't ready?
Remember, I sent you guys a message in the group chat. Some guy said, "Yeah, let's give up Tyler Wade, Mike Ford, and Florial for Ketel Marte." Go ahead, go right ahead. Go ahead. Let's see what happens.
Tyler Wade and Mike Ford would get laughed out of the room so hard.
Two bench players.
What they would do? They would send them a kettle, not Ketel.
That's what I call him, bro.
A kettle.
I keep messing up. I keep calling him Ketel Marte. I'm like, it's not.
With Marte scribbled on it.
You know what's funny? My mind works like I don't know. My mind works very fast. So if I say something, I picture something. I always picture a kettle going every time I say his name. I'm like, that's not it, right? Damn. But I keep saying it.
Dude, they said Mike Ford and Tyler Wade. It's like people think that this is like MLB The Show or something, and you could just hit four straight.
They all do.
It doesn't work like that.
I tell people, you want to acquire a player like Ketel Marte, you got to give up some of your top prospects.
But they're scared, and that's what Brian Cashman is. They're all scared of tariff. Look, and here's my look. What is the risk? Let's say Arizona. Okay, we talk about the Diamondbacks. Let's talk about the Pirates for an example. What is the risks to the Yankees of trading for a guy like Reynolds? Let's say they make the deal bigger to get something else too with him. but you're able to trade for Reynolds, and yeah, you got to give up Jason Dominguez for him. Dominguez becomes a star in 3 years. Reynolds is a very productive outfielder for the Yankees, and they won a World Series. Who cares?
We won.
Who cares?
That's what I'm saying. The thing is that people don't think that way. People think but if he becomes a star, like I'm gonna feel bad.
It doesn't matter.
Are you
We
gonna
won the
feel
World
bad if
Series.
we win a ring? Because if we win a ring, I'm not gonna. You think the Cubs? I always tell
No.
people this. Do you think the Cubs look over at us with Gleyber Torres and take this year out of it? Because this year, obviously not. But I mean, even before that, when he was killing shit for us or whatever, do you think they were looking over at us saying, "Oh man, Gleyber"?
Nope.
No, they were looking down at that big ass ring, and they were like, "Worth it." That's what it's worth it. It's worth it. What are we doing?
Yep.
Dominguez seems nice. The potential, I love it. It's intoxicating. But if we could trade him for a piece that helps us to win a World Series this year or next, I'm all for it.
Listen, I'm guaranteeing you guys right now, those talks in the front office are happening. Like, listen, Trevor Story is out. It's gonna be out there. Every team knows Trevor Story is gonna be available. Every team knows. I send you guys the message that the Athletics, they're interested in Story. That's a fit. The Brewers, the Yankees, who knows how they feel about Gleyber. But like I said, you guys want to keep playing around. If I'm Hal, pull the trigger. Trade Gleyber for Story.
So I got one question, and I'll go around to everybody. Joe, you can definitely jump in if you have anything.
Yeah. I'm just listening. You guys are rolling.
If I just got one question to run around the whole thing, I'll go to RB first, Francis, then Joe, and then I'll finish it up and close this out. I guess the question is, this is the one I want to ask. God, honest opinion. This is your gut talking to you right now. Is Aaron Boone the Yankee manager by the end of the year?
Yeah. I just don't see it. Like you said, they don't nobody has the balls. Listen, this is not working out. You're done. If it was George still alive, months ago. But
they would have been gone already.
They've been gone.
Guaranteed they would have been gone.
Boone, but I just don't see Cashman or Howell. Listen, Boone got to go. I don't know. I'll be shocked if Boone by the end of the year he's not a manager, but I'll say he'll still be the manager. Unfortunately.
Francis, what do you say?
Yeah, I gotta agree with you, Arby. As much as I hate to say it, because I can't stand looking at this team look like this. I think we're gonna finish the year with Aaron Boone. I'm optimistic that if the season continues the way that it's gone thus far, and the Yankees underperform this year, in a year where they were projected to be the favorites coming out of the American League, I'm optimistic that a change is made in the offseason. But I just don't see a way that they actually have the guts to call, to make the call like this mid-year.
Yep.
I would love it to happen.
Yeah.
That would shock me in the most pleasant of ways if they were like, no, actually we're getting rid of Boone, we're bringing somebody in, and I would be shocked and I would be excited probably. And I'm not calling for a man's job. Like, I don't want him to lose his livelihood. Right. And but at the end of the day, Boone has made plenty.
He's fine. He's fine. He's fine.
He'll be okay. Okay. He'll be okay. He's not the guy.
Yeah.
Fortunately, if I had to call it, I'm saying he's going to still be there when this season is over. Yeah. He'll be the one delivering the obituary for the end of the season.
Joe, what do you think?
Well, I have two scenarios. So, I mean, he's going to be the manager whether things continue the way they're going this year. Well, I next year, if they make the playoffs and they figure it out this year, he'll be the manager next year, whether they win or not. But the short possibility of them not making the playoffs, I think Hal will finally step in, because I don't see where Hal doesn't care. He spends the money. He does spend the money.
It's hard to believe, right?
Yeah. If he didn't care, I don't think he would spend the money. He does spend the money. So, I mean, if they don't make the playoffs, I think he's gone. But I don't see a world where they don't make the playoffs, not figure it out. So, I guess we're sticking with Boone.
So, my answer is pretty simple. It's right in line with RB and Francis. I don't have the confidence anymore. I don't. I don't see the care. I don't see the want. I remember Arnold Schwarzenegger used to say, you need to have the know-how. I don't see the know-how for this club to want to win. I just don't. And the way I come to that conclusion is I watch the club play every day. I see what my eyes are showing me. And again, after everything we've talked about today, I don't see a club that is willing to go to that type of level and say, this has not worked. We were wrong. We made the wrong decision. We thought it was the right one at the time, but for this club right now, it's not the right decision. I don't see the Yankees of current being a team that would be willing to make that change. I just don't see it. Now, if it gets to the point where they become sellers, I don't know how the hell you keep your manager. I mean, that would be a horrible look. I think anyone in baseball at that point, beat writers or anybody, would say, how in the world is this guy a manager of the New York Yankees, who are right now projected, they were projected before the season to be the team to beat in the AL? No question about it. They were the odds-on favorite, 100% the team to beat. And they're at the deadline selling to World Series. Yeah, now they're at the deadline selling, but they're keeping a manager. I think that's the only scenario where he goes, where it gets to a point where it's like, this is really bad and we got to save face. Like Hal Steinbrenner needs a safe. We need an scapegoat because I can't have this on me. It becomes at that level. But no, I'll be the one to say I kind of am concerned that what's going to happen is like what Francis said, is they'll make a move or two. They'll get to the ALDS or ALCS. They'll lose and it'll be, well, next year we add another piece and, we go back at it and try to get a little further.
Well, let's hope they make a move because we don't even know. We don't have the confidence if they'll make a move or not.
Maybe they'll get another Alfredo Garcia.
All I'm saying is, dude, it's like what Joe said, and I'm really happy he made that point because that's something I don't know if we said it in this live, but it's important to note that with Hal, as frustrated as we get, that's one thing that I think all four of us have admitted at one point or another, like whether tweets or in our group chat or whatever, we all agree that Hal spends enough money.
Of course.
Right? 100%. We all agree that he spends 100%. Enough money. The fact that we have one of the highest payrolls all the time, whatever, like he's been spending the money. I think that's why we're so frustrated with Cashman.
Of course.
Because with the amount of money that has been doled out, there's no excuse for what we're looking at. And I think it just goes back to what we were just saying. Like, if this team ends up falling even further, it's like to go from World Series, like the World Series, like not favorites, because I think the Dodgers were still favored over us, but we were supposed to be in there against the Dodgers. To go second from that to not even making the playoffs, or like an ALDS exit or a wild card exit, or worse, selling at the deadline. If we're selling at the deadline with the payroll that we have this year, I can't fathom how Hal Steinbrenner signs up for another year of spending $200 million for a team like this.
Yep.
I think some major changes would I have to hold on to hope that he says, I'm not going to be spending this kind of money for this shit. I just know, like, I have to hold on to some kind of hope. Yep. But again, I agree with what Pete said, like, and maybe I'm being pessimistic. I don't think that there's enough moves that they can make this year to turn it around completely and to actually be that World Series favorite. I'm sorry. I don't think that there's enough moves that they can make this year. Even if they could get Story and Scherzer. Right. Imagine they got Story and Scherzer.
You would think,
right? That sounds like, whoa, those two huge moves or whatever. I still think that there's still holes. Even outside of that, there's holes.
And we didn't really get to that because we could break that down even more, but we'll have obviously more of these and more time will pass and see what his team is. But roster construction, they really need a roster construction change. We talked about, I'll give Cashman credit in one spot. I felt like the starting pitching depth was okay to start the year. There was no doubt about that. But when you're also,
oh, you got muted, bro.
Oh, there goes the mic.
You're mute.
Hold on. Don't worry, guys. He's going to fix it.
All right, there we go.
There we go.
So like I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, there needs to, you're already put on the spot that your young prospect center fielder would come up to the major leagues and do nothing. So you kind of canceled him out of the picture already. And now you're playing outfielders that are hitting under 200. You're playing Brett Gardner, who obviously just doesn't have it anymore. No disrespect to Brett. How long do you want the guy to go? We knew this would happen. We knew 1 year he was going to collapse and be like, I'm older now. I've been here since 2009. I won the World Series last with this club.
Yeah,
I don't have it no more. It's not there no more. So it's a lot to do with roster construction. That's why I get mad too when, Stanton being a DH is probably the worst thing that could have happened to this club. Being a full-time DH is terrible because you know what you could do? You don't have that salary. You can then say, that's fine. We can look at a first baseman. We can move Voit to become a DH. He's not making no money. He's not making no money for years to come still. And by the time that comes, you never got to re-sign him because he's older as it is. You could just say, all right, go find another team. Good luck. Make your money now. We're not going to be the ones to give it to you, though. That's years down the line. So at the end of the day, I mean, you look at everything. The line of construction is just bad. And that has to go on Cashman. And it has to go on. So there's blame to put around everywhere. But at the end of the day, we'll see. Maybe the next time we do this, they'll be in a better position. Maybe they'll be in a worse position. We'll have even more to talk about. But anybody has anything else they want to add?
All I know is that the next two series is the Twins and Phillies.
My God.
If they lose both series, listen, I think I don't want to say it, but Sellers, I don't know. I don't want to say it because it's embarrassing. Like we go from second favorites from the World Series in the offseason to now, hey guys, we're gonna become Sellers. That's everybody out. Everybody out. I don't care. Fired. That's embarrassing.
See, Eric brings up a good point too. He says Blue Jays have no significant lefty bats, but are what? Third in American League in offense. And that's what my point was the whole time when I was saying that before, is that I don't necessarily buy into that he must have a lefty because they have guys that hit the ball anywhere. That you had those guys, like Francis said, you could build around those guys. Glaber does not need to be this 30 home run hitter. There's no reason for that. Aaron Hicks going up there. I don't think Aaron Hicks is a horrible baseball player. I think his approach is terrible and it doesn't fit him.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with a lot of guys in his lineup. They don't need to be those type of players.
You
got power.
Judge hits the ball opposite field. Gio, opposite field. DJ, all he does is hit opposite field. Like, I understand people like left-handed batters, it's to kind of balance it, but our right-handed batters, they're not all pull hitters. You know what I mean? Yep. Like, they put it all over the field. But that's the issue, like what you guys are saying. Everybody wants to be the Madonna. Oh, Glaber wants to be the home run hitter. Everybody. It doesn't work. It's not working.
Yep. He's building the brand. You got to hit home run.
That's why he can build the brand in Colorado. How about that?
And that's exactly
go to Colorado.
Exactly what
he's somewhere else, bro.
If you can't get it together, if you really can't get it together, Glaber, and realize that this team is way bigger than you will ever be. Like we have seen greats is not even the word. We've had the legends of all legends play for this freaking team, and they still weren't bigger than the freaking team. Don't think that you're going to show up here and just be bigger than the New York Yankees, buddy. Trust me.
I do want to add this real quick if I can. L.I. Yankee King did do another donation, so I want to shout him out for that. Imagine Cohen when he hears Yankees are selling and Cole might be available.
Okay, Cole is not available. God. We never said Cole was going to be available.
L.I. Yankee King, I gotta tell you, bro. I love you,
Justin.
I love you.
I love you too, man. I needed that laugh. Cole available. You're gonna send our only.
We're laughing, but he's being dead serious.
We're gonna send our only sturdy starter to Queens to be with DeGrom. DeGrom was supposed to come to the Bronx, not the other way around.
I tell you what, L.I. Yankee, if you're on, bro, listen to me. If they ever make a movie about Jake the Snake Roberts, make sure you are all over that mess because you bear a striking resemblance to the legend Jake the Snake Roberts. Do me a favor, when I know you got the mullet, grow a mustache. I would love to see with a mustache and that. And look, it's one of my childhood wrestlers. If they make a movie about it, he had a rough life. if they make a movie, but probably a real good movie, you might be able to play like a young version of Jake the Snake Roberts. But Joe, do you got anything to add before we get off of here?
Oh no, I'm good. You guys, I mean, we basically hit everything.
We did hit everything. So I don't know when the next roundtable would be. Quick little plug. Me and Francis are going to be having a podcast called Designated Spitters.
Hey.
So that's coming out soon. We got everything being worked. I got a theme song being worked out on it. We got a lot of stuff coming to Apple, Spotify, everything. So the podcast is going to go full force with that. So NYY News is a brand. These will not go away. So we're still going to have these. We got a lot going on. And we just got Mr. Thompson, my good friend. I got to answer his question. He got another super chat in. All jokes aside, what the hell happened to Gary Sanchez? Did he completely lose it? Did he change his approach? I'm trying to figure this all out. Honestly, man, I really could answer it the way you did. I think everybody doesn't understand what happened with Gary. I don't know. I don't know. I've reported what I reported about his conditioning, and everybody else, thankfully, because everybody hated me because I was this big Gary Sanchez hater. But everybody else, A-Rod and everybody else came out and said the same thing, confirmed it all. So it is what it is. I can't pinpoint what happened to Gary Sanchez. I can't.
I would say, if I can say, I would say real simple. The management change from Girardi to Boone was the worst thing that could have ever happened for Gary Sanchez.
100%. That I could, yep, 100%.
The worst thing that could have ever happened for Gary Sanchez. And there's a lot of little nuance that I don't want to get because we're about to jump off, so I won't get into that. But that's the point that I will hammer home. Boone was literally the worst thing that could happen for Gary Sanchez. Gary Sanchez needed for a manager who was going to be on his ass about conditioning, about pass balls, about his approach at the plate, about looking sloppy, looking lackadaisical out there with his approach. Like, he needed that. And as soon as that was gone and there was nobody to hold him accountable, he got comfortable, okay? He got comfortable. He vacationed in DR and he wasn't playing baseball. He was, eating mango every morning. You know what I'm saying? Sitting on the freaking porch, drinking Presidente all day long.
Oh man, that's the life.
That's
gonna be me in August.
You know what I'm saying? And you know what? It's good. I'm glad that's gonna be you in August, man. It's gonna be me too soon. But it shouldn't be Gary Sanchez in the winter.
Not at all.
It should not be him in the winter.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Joe, you got any last words for us?
I mean, whatever you guys said. I mean, my main thing with Gary is after Joe Girardi left, he became a slob. That's plain and simple.
Earl, NYY.
Yeah, dude,
I love that guy. He calls up the slob.
The slob.
The slob.
Hey, Gary was under Joe G. Joe G's fit. Joe G's fit. He told Mike Mussina to put down those peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. They're not good for you. You're not having them no more. We're taking out all the candy machines. He put Cliff Bars in there. He said that's all you eating is organic, plant-based protein bars that taste like cardboard, but that's all you get to have.
They had Cliff Bars and wheatgrass everywhere.
The great. We ain't never talked. Maybe poor Gary Sanchez was hungry all those years.
That's what it was.
The boy might have been hungry.
That's the real reason CC Sabathia retired.
Yeah.
They told him they couldn't do the donuts every time he was starting anymore. It was getting a little bit out of hand. It wasn't in the budget anymore. So he's like, all right, I got to be out then, I guess.
That's it. They said, that's all right. No more at all.
Crazy, man.
All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed it. We'll definitely be back with another roundtable. I'll give everybody an ETA soon on when the podcast will debut, but I want everything to be done on it before we actually debuted it. But other than that, appreciate you guys. Everybody have a wonderful night. Thank you everybody for joining. Talk to you soon. All right, let's close this out and stream. Bingo. All right, fellas.